Throttle till you bottle, ride it on the edge. One mistake away from gravel, a glory's ledge. Push it past the limit, don't you lift or break. If you're not dancing with disaster, you're not wide awake. Throttle till you bottle, this is how we race. In the fire of endurance, we find our place. Side by side into turn 3. Drafting down the straight like we're born to be. F1 pace with an LMP soul. Pit stop dreams, flat out goals. Overtake clean or defend like hell. DRS wide and the gap won't dwell. Discord's lit but the track comes first. Champions are built where the tires burst. Throttle till you bottle, feel the G's rise. Tearing through the sim world under pixel skies. No reset button, just grit and gears. Through the heat and the heartbreak, the wins and the tears. Till you bottle, it's the racer's creed. Full send in the sim, full heart at speed. From rookies to vets, we ride the storm. In lobbies where legends are born. Camaraderie and chaos, rivals and mates, one shared love. Those checkered flag fades. Throttle till you bottle, ain't no turning back. Burn the line till the screen fades black. In this digital circus, we chase the flame. One wheel spin closer to fortune or fame. Throttle till you bottle, that's our name. Sim racers united in the ultimate game. Sim racers united in the ultimate engines fire in the dead of night. Rubber on the tarmac, hearts full of fight. Fuel in the veins, sweat on the wheel. We live for the rush, the grip, the feel.
Hello, everybody. Guess who's back on your screens for the TTYB show? No real surprise, it is the Silverstone crew. Welcome to round number 5, the Singapore Grand Prix. The marvellous Marina Bay awaits us. Carl Baranek, Rio Harris alongside me. The game's never been more back, and Rio is in crisp 4K for all of you to see. Rio, welcome in. We're going to gloss over the past races of the season that we've unfortunately missed. Sorry. But equally, how are you doing? What can we expect from Singapore tonight?
Chaos, I think, is the main part, because it's just the nature. I mean, with these ranks, you always expect chaos, mainly the battery. But yeah, I expect a good race. You'd expect the usual up at the front of the field. Obviously, I gotta be honest, I haven't really seen the past race results, so I have no idea who won.
But like, what I can tell you is Australia last time, it was Elias in the McLaren that won it. His first race win in TTYB. It was a top 3 comprised of Elias, Ethan, and Stars. No Chowdenby and no Yuri on the podium, which is practically unheard of in TTYB folklore. But it just explains how close the competition is becoming. The fact that the top drivers have to give that extra 2 or 3%. It doesn't sound like much, but it really does add up, and especially at a track like Singapore.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, qualifying as well it's always going to be close. This is probably going to be the most crucial qualifying of the season. Singapore, you only have probably 2-3 overtaking opportunities, which, I mean, 4 if you include turn 1, but like turn 1, turn 7, I think it's turn 15 and turn 17, I believe. I don't know the exact corner numbers, but expect racing because of the battery. But it's gonna be a game of chess, as always, in these regulations.
Absolutely right. Well, I hear some beeps going on before qualifying, but before we get into the meat of the horse, well, realistically, it would only be fair if, while we can't tell you about the race results in question, we do manage to canter over some drivers' standings. So I will provide the top 10. We go from there. Yuri leads after 4 rounds of the championship with 132, 50 points clear of his next closest challenger. And that is Chowlenby, who's moving last to first for fun. Leaves some speed for the rest of us. Duty is in joint second place though, but on countback, Chowlenby remains ahead. Brian Evans in 4th place, of course didn't race last week, didn't pick up any points, so stays on 78, with Herbie quietly and consistently up to 5th place. You've then got Mac 1 in 6th, with Sheehan in 7th, Stars in 8th, Mackie Sek in 9th, with Nolla rounding out the top 10.
Sneck sits in P11 on 53 points. 47 P12 was 50 points. Then you've got Tanidran and James, Highwire, Elias, Caddy, Flop, myself, shouting. Shouting man. I didn't even notice that. Ethan Logan and Katie sat in 20th with 25 points. Man, whoever did that, that's a brilliant name.
It's only the greatest journalism in the TTYB circus. Finally, though, we have our combined constructors standings, and the answer there is quite simple. McLaren have the lead with 326 across the 2 tiers. Audi, though, contactless transactions and consistency, they're in 2nd on 200 nice points. Cadillac on 252.5 in 3rd place, with Haas in 220. The only other team with 200 plus is the V-Carb team. The rest of the results, as you can see, Lassie and Williams F1 Sham are in last. Listen, I don't make the names, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I'm going to say. But it's very, very interesting, particularly those drivers' standings, which have got very, very cutthroat indeed, but Yuri's stolen the march on everyone, and with how close the grid is becoming, being consistent and being up there, it's going to put him a long way up.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, as it is always in Formula 1, consistency is key, and if there's one track where you want consistency, it's Singapore, because it is arguably, well, I say arguably, it is one of the hardest circuits on the Formula 1 calendar, but nonetheless, we've got cars on track, qualifying's underway, and Carl, for pole position, who do you reckon?
The age-old question. Well, I'm tempted to say... Ooh, it's a tricky one, to be honest. My mind initially went to Brian Evans, but qualifying trim hasn't necessarily been his forte. It's been sort of at a whimper, his qualifying pace. The race is really, really where he ramps the ante up. I am going to say it's going to be a pole position for Elias, taking the confidence from the race win into Singapore qualifying. Who do you think, Rio?
Ooh, it's an interesting question. I mean, you go for it, if you think like Ilias, Sheehan, you mean Candy Flop? We know he has his spectacular qualifying moments. I'm going to say Arthur Way, out of nowhere, in the Audi.
That came out of nowhere. Speaking of coming out of nowhere, Yusto Samurai, and if it's the Yusto I'm thinking of, has gained very much a notoriety in the open lobby space on F125, circling over to F126. Expect big things from the McLaren Maestro, as he's going to be the very first driver to tackle the Marina Bay Street Circuit in anger through the final chicane, and then the double left-hander presents itself. Slingshot onto the start-finish straight. And without further ado, we shall ride on board with the McLaren for the first lap in anger.
Exactly, make our way towards the opening corners of the racetrack through turn 1, and then through turn 2, 3, and then making our way down towards the mini straight, where I've gone the complete wrong person here, my apologies. We're going to make our way then down the straight. Sorry, I'm getting used to the buttons here, because I'm trying to figure out what I pressed to get to what. We make our way towards the end of the opening circuit, opening sector of the lap. It's 27.057 for the McLaren driver, and then we go towards the hairpins, where if you're close enough, you can go for a cheeky dive, but you have to be brave on those brakes. Little slide there on the exit of the hairpin. Rotate it through the left-hand corner before you make it towards the George Russell corner. Yeah,
sizable snap of oversteer for Yusto in the McLaren, but still plenty of time to make up here. Over the curb, on the inside. With these particular cars, you don't really want to try and clip that right-hand curb if you can avoid it. Still is possible. Car's more likely to bottom out. It's about stability through the left-hander, and then a slingshot onto the end of sector number 2. The right-hander next, brake at 100 meters, slight lift and coast, because you want to burn as much electrical energy as possible through the slight left kink and towards that final chicane. And what kind of benchmark can Yusto put on the board. Samurai in the name. Is it a samurai by nature? Well, cut that curb very gratuitously indeed. Can he put a slice on the Singapore confidence of many other drivers? As through the final corner he goes, a 29.895. It's the first time on the board. Next to cross the line, it will be Tanidran. Keyboard Warrior in the Alpine is going to go through and take a 30.7. So that is plenty of time to find his Infinity very quickly. Brews a 28.8. Monstrous benchmark.
Yeah, very good here. Elias as well, coming around the final corners. Mackie goes to the front row. Elias over the line, goes up into the front row visually. But, Carl, that is 4 tenths away from the fastest time we have seen so far. Highwire, I think, is coming up. No, it's not. We have a Racing Bulls, maybe a Sheehan, who's coming around the final corners. I have absolutely no idea. It is Sheehan over the line with a 28.8 to go 14 milliseconds ahead of the rest of the field to take provisional pole position here in Singapore. There is, I believe, an Alpine up next. Was it Alpine or a Williams? It might be a Williams actually rounding the final corner over the line. I'm not too sure. And no improvements in the time so far.
Well, there you go. Across the line, apparently someone else slotting in. It's Yuri in the Haas car. That's the answer. Into third, 29.1. And Chowdenbeat retires because his gearbox is broken. It's really unfortunate. 14 thousandths between Xi'an and Infinity. Candy Flop by name, not at the moment by nature. Absolutely flying as Brian Evans, looking to break his qualifying curse in many ways. Isn't normally at the sharp end of the field. Today, looking to change that. P6 at the moment, with plenty of time to find as Mac 1 compresses the margins even closer between himself and Hazard in P4. 13 thousandths between the three cars, and it's only going to get closer.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, you can see it's 14 milliseconds split. The top two at this current moment in time here in Singapore qualifying. So it's just showing how much closer, like you mentioned, the field has got here into TTYB as a whole. I'm saving a bunch of clips because I haven't mapped the buttons properly.
All good. I'm on board with Nate Rotax at the moment, and if he's not a Rotax, what does that make him? Well, making their way up the field, it's Highwire, or is it Duty? The answer is it's Duty, going into 9th place, usually a qualifying king. Can't quite reach the sharp end at the moment, but it's first lap on the board nonetheless. What can the Audi driver do? Through the final chicane, the double left-hander, left to go, reserving in for one of the Audi crew. That will be Herbie. As through they go, car perfectly planted. Third place, 28.950. That is a pretty damn decent benchmark from Monsieur Rotax. And that's the question posed to the top two. If you think you're going to escape, not today, my friend. You've got to do better than that.
Without doubt, very surprising outtime there, Rotax. I mean, the top three now slipped by an exact or near on a 10th of a half of a second. Fortis, I believe, has come around the final couple of corners on his first valid lap time in that Red Bull racing car. It looks so good under the lights in the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Over the line we go with the Red Bull, and it's the slowest of the times we've seen so far here.
Fortis, of course, I say demoted, sort of demoted himself to tier 2. There's some speculation about it, but me and Rio won't go over that because we've heard a million-year penalties are on the cards if we do. So Red Bull's going to carry on. Meanwhile, also carrying on is one Arthur Way in the Audi, is on a valid lap. And Rio, this is your pole prediction, Prince.
Indeed, it is. I'm trying to fix my buttons at this current moment in time as we now watch Arthur Way make his way through the next couple of corners, making his way towards the final 3 or 4 corners through the chicane. We go in, and it's the final corner where we remember back to 2023 where Lance Stroll did bin it. He makes his way up and around the final corner to cross the line. Where could Arthur go? P10. So, Arthur currently sat in P10. My pole prediction, not too well, is Yuri. Yuri to the top of the timing page with a 1:28.791, and the Dutchman finds 11 milliseconds of an advantage over Sheehan in the Racing Bulls. Up next will be Tanidran or Fortis, maybe coming around the final couple of corners. I don't know if Carl is here. Carl might have officially passed away. We hope that is not the case. But nonetheless, into pit lane comes Fortis in the Red Bull. Arsenal unsafe release from the McLaren on my end. But Sneck as well was someone who's making their way towards the final chicane here. There's a V-carb as well. That's either Sheehan or Null who are beginning their outlap, but Sneck as well, making their way through the final chicane, making their way up and around the final corner. Over the line we go with Sneck in the Aston Martin. The provisional pole with a 28.442. He's blown them away.
All aboard. Next stop, the Obliteration Station. Sneck, that is absolutely outrageous, my friend. Ridiculous time. Duty starting another flying lap. He's a second off, but he's invalidated already. Mostly because he improved to P10. What a time from Sneck. You're retaking it by the slimmest of margins, only to then be completely crushed by the Aston Martin, who has been in the fight for pole position already during this season. We saw it at Silverstone, got oh so close to Sheehan, but not close enough. Sheehan on an outlap, currently in P3. Infinity going again. There's an Alpine ramping on through, and that will be not Mach 1, that will be the other one of Tanidran. So difficult to keep up, but that's purely because Singapore, mercifully, shorter circuit. If you do make a bit of a mistake, you can rectify that, because it's very easy to then get out and do another lap again.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. That lap from Sneck, absolutely superlative. To put 3.5 tenths on just like that out of absolutely nowhere. It's a lap you have to be proud of as well. There's a V-carb covering through the final couple of corners. Either Sheehan or Null. It might be Sheehan, it's not. It's going to be Null making their way around the final corners on their next push lap as they come over the line. Does the V-carb, and Null can go second slowest of the times so far. The McLaren also coming over the line as well. That might be Elias to begin another lap here in qualifying. It's an Alpine as well. That might be Mackie who's coming through the final corners. No, it's not. It's the other Alpine of Tanidran, I believe, who's on an outlap. What about the other McLarens, though? Might be Justo up next through the final corner. And over the line we go as the McLaren to cross the line and to go up from 15th to 13th position on the road. A Ferrari as well over the line. The Candy flop to begin another lap here in qualifying. Then there's an Aston Martin, I believe, or Sneck, who's going up against another hurrah here. The Audi as well, Rotax beginning again, and then the Williams as well over the line of Mackie to go on once again.
Yeah, another one of those cases in F1 26 regulations where we see drivers going for multiple push laps. Sheehan's done a purple sector too. Meanwhile, in the RB car, only 2 tenths up on his current time. He's going to have the last sector of his life in order to overthrow Sneck at the front of the field. History between those two, of course, from the British Grand Prix. How poetic it would be to see them start at the front. The script is set. Sheehan through the final corner, throws the car in to the apex, and is oh so close to snatching away pole position. It's roles reversed this time, though. Sneck has it under lock and key. What can Infinity do, though? He's next up the road to try and pose the pole position question. He was a 10.5 up as we cut over to him towards the hairpin corner. McLaren going a bit slower up ahead. It looks like a distant tow for the Ferrari. He's a quarter of a second up as well. This is going to be oh so close.
Like you mentioned, it's oh so close to Singapore qualifying. It's what you want to see in tracks like this. You want to see them all so close. We go through the final chicane, through the right, through the left, and then make your way towards the final corner. Tap of the wall was a bit of oversteer. Round the final corner, and can the Ferrari roll to the top into the floor? Massive snap on the exit of the final corner. Almost did what Lance Stroll did in 2023. It was a humongous save by the Ferrari driver. Rotax as well, came across the line and couldn't do anything. But Carl, that was so close to the wall.
Credit where credit's due. Sumptuous save from Infinity Candy Flop. There was nothing flop-like about that. If anything, it was a marvellous creation from the Ferrari. Couldn't get the car to stick in those final 2 corners. You're chasing your own tail, particularly if you're tapping the wall at that final chicane. But still very much in this session, can go again soon, mercifully. Jensen Hookie looks to be on a lap in anger in the Williams car. Impressive display from Jensen as well. And Mercedes, it's not Mercedes, and Aston Martin, my apologies, just gets out of the way. That's of Hazard's Racing Productions. That's a tongue twister to say. Jensen, what's the split going to be like? 6 tenths up on his current lap. Oh my goodness me, this is a Goliath lap.
Very good effort there from the driver. Completely roaring up the oars. The Mercedes man as well, who I believe is about to begin. I think both Mercedes actually are on outlaps. Tanidran as well, but we're going to come around the final corner. They're slowing down there. There's a Williams over the line. Jensen Hookie to the top of the timing page. Was that lap out of absolutely nowhere? The Williams from 11th to pole position.
Told you. I said it from a mile away. The Goliaths of TTYB better have their wits about them because recoiled, holstered with the slingshot, Jensen Hookie has just dealt a fatal blow to the rest of the grid's pole position hopes. Not that it's over yet, still just over 4 minutes to go, but that is a mighty impressive lap from the Williams driver. Here comes the Toyota Gazoo Racing Haskar though. Yuri, championship leader, Sector 2 split, to be crossed, the beam to be cut, a purple Sector 2. Just nearly 3/10 up on his lap, but he's got to find more through that last sector. It's where so many drivers have struggled to get the car complying with the aerodynamics, the tyres to stay in the window. You can hear the tyres squealing for resuscitation. Locking up is the championship leader. Just the final 2 corners to go. Can Jensen Hookie's time be overthrown? No, it can't. 25 thousandths down is Yuri. So not just a display of how tricky it is to properly hook up Singapore, but also credit to Jensen Hookie, who has delivered a delightful lap.
It just came out of absolute nowhere, did it? By the Williams driver. Highwire as well next up over the line to try and challenge it, but over a second away. That lap from Jensen has come from absolutely nowhere. Duty's bailed out on their particular that time, probably to box chuck in a new set of soft compound tyres for one final hurrah in this qualifying session. Tanidran is someone who goes over the curb, cutting the pit entry, but nonetheless makes it into the pit lane. Just so I think could be up next. They are up next is the McLaren driver as they make their way down towards turn number 1 to begin their next hot lap here in qualifying. There's a Cadillac as well of, I think, Adblocks. It might be I might have butchered his name completely. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever how you say that name. Sneck has left the session, and that is not what you need with 2 minutes 30 to go in qualifying.
Demoralised. The Aston Martin driver knew there was no way he could overthrow Jensen Hookie. And that is Adblocks tapping the wall not once but twice. Pinball Wizard through it under the bridge, but then does manage to keep the car compliant. It's about 80% battery. We had questions, can we see the battery telemetry? The answer is yes, you absolutely can. 600ths up, despite playing pinball with the walls around the Marina Bay. And then it's battery to burn. Save it up as much as possible for this final run. Maybe could burn a little bit more, actually, towards that final chicane. He's got loads and loads of electrical energy surplus and ready to bolt on throughout the final 2 corners. Let the car comply with the aerodynamics. Has kept the boost on. That's brave and bold, but it will be a 1:30.192, and it will be up into P16 ahead of Tanidran.
It's unbelievable how look at the top 4, split by just over a tenth of a second. It's game on for pole here. We know Sneck's out of it. I think Yuri and Jensen as well aren't coming back out. I think the top 3 are all stuck to the pit lane. Highwire over the line to begin another lap. There's also a Haas of James who is beginning another lap in this qualifying session. Well, that just so then invalidated their time. They will go on for another lap in the qualifying session. But Sheehan is on their final preparation lap. They did 1 lap, got within a tenth of a bit, and then they're doing the recharge lap. They're doing the P.O. Parish strap with the double run.
Yeah, they will manage to cross the line to start a final flying lap, which is great news for them. Meanwhile, Mach 1, P8 at the moment, race winner at the Texas Grand Prix, the inaugural race of season number 5. Since then, has remained Mr. Consistent in his own right, but now in Singapore, it's time to burn the battery. It's time to plant down every single little piece of Pirelli into the bitumen. As through onto Raffles Boulevard, he goes for the final time in this qualifying session, and it's the final flurry, Rio. It is crunch time.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Jensen's gone up for an out lap, but he's not going to make it. So there might be the issue where his AI might just hold people up when that checker flag waves. But Mackie, through the opening set, like you said, the opening race winner of the year, showing, or wanting to show, that that win was not a fluke, to show the win was turned, to show that he can fire the field. A little tap on the wall on the exit of the corner before we enter the infamous George Russell corner. Sling it through the left, sling it through the right. You have to use the curb, you have to use all of the road available, so close to the wall, using everything possible. It's Jensen from Yuri from Sneck. The top 3 are not going for one more lap. It's going to be up to Sheehan, it's going to be up to Candy Foss and Rotas and Elias to try and challenge it. Mackie, at this minute in time, needs 7/10 of a second to challenge for pole. Down towards the final chicane we go, Carl. I don't think it's going to be enough for the Alpine at least.
Doesn't look like it. There's an Audi completely stopped in Sector 2. I don't know whether they messed their lap up and are just not trying to get in the way of anyone, in which case
Oh,
fair
the
play.
wall!
Sheehan's gone. Sheehan's binned it on his final lap. Mach 1's invalidated towards the end as well. It falls to infinity. Candy Floss in the Ferrari to try and prize away pole position, but this is going to be oh so close. Millimetric precision through Sector 2 is paramount. Box office entertainment in this qualifying session that will only reveal a cinematic spectacle for the Ferrari. If he can get up, Brian Evans goes into P5. That's a Williams getting out of the way. In fact, Mackie, I think, that retired on the exit of the corner at the hairpin. That would have compromised Infinity a little bit, but he is 3 tenths up, nearly 4 tenths, by the most meek of margins. He's so close. It's just half a tenth he needs through this final chicane and final couple of corners where it went oh so wrong for him earlier on in the session. Car's much more compliant this time. The Jensen Hookie fairy tale was fabulous, but can Ferrari find their feet at the end? No, I don't think it was. P4 and arise, Jensen Hookie, the Williams wonder. You are a pole sitter in TTYB.
It reminds me of that Hamilton that from 2018. Just perfection, just came out of nowhere in a weekend, in a race day where they looked like they were struggling. Just pulled it out of the book and lines up on the pole. Ahead of Yuri, ahead of Sneg. Look how close it is between the top 5. It's just over a tenth. It's unbelievable. Brian Evans as well found a lap at the last. Candy Floss jumped up into 4th. If qualifying is anything to go by for the Grand Prix, bring me 62 laps. We've only got 31 today, but please, if it's going to be like this, bring me 62 of them.
That is one heck of a qualifying session, ladies and gentlemen. Well. For it to the end, all the heavy hitters that we expected for pole didn't come up to the crop. The cream of the crop that rose to the top. Jensen Hookie is flooded. There's absolute scenes in the Twitch chat. He can't believe his luck, or what he calls luck. It's not luck. You just had the most pace. So take that on board with you, my friend. What a lap. Honestly, like you say, just perfection personified from Jensen Hookie. And he's got the best seat in the house for race day.
Without a doubt, and like you said, you can't accidentally put it on pole, can you? Unless it's Creator Series and you swap with your teammate. You can't accidentally put it on pole position. Like, you have to have talent to put it on pole. You have to have talent to even keep it in a straight line in Singapore. Obviously, we saw like the likes of Sheehan, they have talent. It ran out towards the end of qualifying, but nonetheless, it's just phenomenal that from Jensen. Like you mentioned, my prediction for pole got disqualified.
Well, my prediction for pole came P8. Not a bad session by Elias from any means, but it was just that extra 5%, that extra breaking of the barrier that made it for Jensen Hookie and so many others so close between the top 5. And while I would usually do at this point a race winner's prediction, I'm not going to do that. Instead, the prediction I have, the question I have, is, I mean, Twitch chat, absolutely feel free to do a winner's prediction, but Rio, my question is, Chowdenby starts last. Where's he going to get to by the end?
Do I think he'll get caught up in chaos? Yes. Do I be nice or do I be unfortunate? I'll be unfortunate. I say he'll get caught up in the collision and he'll finish P9, I think, for this Grand Prix.
Okay, still a top 10. Nothing to turn your snout up at.
What about you?
I was going to say P6. I feel like P6 is where he'll get to. It's notoriously quite difficult to overtake at Singapore as well, which will probably exacerbate the issue. But if he is caught up in chaos, make no mistake, we'll probably see a safety car around here. It is quite likely. We had the Madrid not too long ago, which was anarchy in motion, frankly. Singapore, much the same. It is very easy to get it wrong, as we saw at the end of qualifying, if you're just trying to push it a bit too hard.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Was Madrid when we was at Silverstone? I think it was, wasn't it? Was it the one last week, or was that Australia last week?
Oh, Australia last week it was.
Ah, I see. I mean, yeah, but like you mentioned, you have to push the limits. Something that is pushing the limits. My intention on the race director, everyone's on medium hards, apart from the man in P11. Duty's on the softs.
Oh, for God's sake, it's happened again. Duty's no stranger to going for a soft tyre slobber knocker. Word of advice, maybe don't. Unless there's an early safety car, in which case I will absolutely agree with you. But there you
Don't
go.
listen to Carl, gamble it.
Primed and point. Fortune favours the gambler. I'd like at this point to say, don't gamble. It does not favour you. Jensen Hookie and loads of others on those mediums. To be honest, it's a smart strategy. If you have a safety car early doors, you get the softer compound out of the way. And the hards, notoriously overpowered in this game, should be able to take you quite a distance.
I'm surprised with the amount of hard tires I'm seeing, because they're so OP. Like, people, when I engineer people, what I say to them from races, obviously the hard medium strategy, example like Texas, it works an absolute wonder. I'm going to go to a race I commentated when I commentated IMS Div 0. You know, the likes like Oliver Knott and Lawrence Patton and Cloud and that. Cloud won that race by 17 seconds because he went the opposite strategy. It shows that a hard medium can work, but then you have the wonder. If there's an early race safety car, there's a hard tire. Your best race tire, gone in an instant.
Exactly that, and also it depends so much. It's all an environment thing as well. If you're in a notoriously clean league, then happy days, hard medium can work. Where it's a bit more chaotic, where it literally has bottle in the name, you might do well to just start the mediums and just play devil's advocate on that front. Usually it's faster. However, alternate strategies can work, as Sheehan and Brian Evans will try and personify in front of all of you. I will also say at this point, Chowdenby isn't actually starting last. Arthurway did get disqualified towards the end, so it's a 21st question mark challenge for Chowdenby today, who sits joint second in the championship, and I don't think that's really talked about enough. The fact that Chowdenby is still that high up, even though he's had to cut through even more cars than he usually would have to.
I mean, yeah, but it just absolutely shows the pure talent from the reigning, I believe he's two-time champion, isn't he now, since his title triumph.
Indeed.
But obviously, based on how the season's going, Yuri took that last season personal, leading by 50 points, isn't he? So he wants his championship glory, and what a better place to do it, or to extend the lead, in Singapore. His nearest rival for the title's 21st. There was someone else, I've already forgot who was tied with him, but take it away for the 5 red lights, Carl.
Will do. Williams on the left, Yuri on the right. It will be. Lights out, foot to the floor. Away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. And it's a great start for Jensen Hookie versus Yuri. Infinity in a 3-way sandwich. You'll do well to get out of that, and he does. Brief contact for Brian Evans. He's going to send him plummeting, but even worse for Sneck, who gets caught up in the chaos. Yuri's down the order as well. It's the worst possible start, and it's already a virtual safety car, full course yellow, after the first 3 corners. Jensen, though, with a comfortable lead already. You can hardly believe it.
Unbelievable, just absolute chaos. Like I said, every single driver has changed positions apart from Jensen in this Grand Prix already. It's just absolute chaos already on this Grand Prix. Like you said, virtual safety car out. Candy up 2. Elias up 4 positions in the Singapore Grand Prix. And you don't get them like that. Justo up 3. And then Yuri's down as well. Yuri, championship leader's down to 12.
10 places down for Yuri, 10 places down for Sneck. It is the worst possible dilemma that they have to try and navigate now for the next 30 laps of Singapore. And Raw Beans quite rightly said it himself as we get back to green flag racing. Jensen slightly caught out by it. Infinity within a second in the Ferrari car. Elias in third. Sheehan managed to avoid all the conundrums, is in P4. Rotax and Mac 1 up 3 places respectively in 5th and 6th. Brian Evans did well to keep 7th. Duty 8th. Hazard in 9th. Justo rounding out the top 10 as Katie gets through but then is sent pirouetting around. Damage for the Aston Martin, I believe, of Sneck as well to compound his misery early doors. But through the final chicane we go. Jensen holds the lead. Infinity just about keeping within a second of the Williams driver. Elias in P3. Sheehan in 4th. Nearly losing touch, but it's all about that overtake mode as Sneck is already into the pit lane at the end of the lap.
Yeah, like you say, I mean, for a man who was downbeat in his pace, he's almost capped a second already. Jensen's flying. In the opening stages of this Grand Prix, Brian Evans as well is now getting close to the rear of Mack in the Alpine if he rotates it through turn 5. Sneck has already given up, which, I mean, in Singapore, why give up so early? There's probably going to be a safety car later on. But anyway, make your way down in towards, I believe, turn number 7, where Brian Evans will be gaining with the while, but on this occasion, not close enough. They all look to stay line astern as they apply the brakes and rotate it through the opening corner of the middle sector. Everyone's staying line astern, staying well behaved so far. Highwire seems to be the one putting the most pressure on so far. Justo on that hard tyre, suffering for grip compared to the medium on Highwire's Mercedes. Tagging the waters, the McLaren. Make your way towards the next left-hander, and it's going to be a breeze on by for the Mercedes to get up into 10th position. And there's 1 down, 9 to go if Highwire wants any chance of fighting for Grand Prix victory. The front of the field, the gap down to half a second.
Decisive and diligent from Highwire. Just keeping the composure for Infinity at this stage. A golden opportunity. The championship leaders down in P12. Sneck, another heavy hitter, already out of this race as Katie makes a move around the outside of the hairpin. Showstopper from Kitty Katie. That's unbelievable stuff as Arthur and Chowdenby go into combat side by side. A little bit of contact through the right-hander as there's all sorts of chaos happening at the back of the field. Chowdenby already up 5 places. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Has displaced Arthur out of overtake mode, and he'll definitely be using that to his advantage. Jensen, half a second ahead of Infinity, riding on board with the Ferrari as they make their way to Raffles Boulevard for the 3rd time in this race. Unfortunately, time runs out so much quicker than you ever could anticipate at Singapore. The straight line mode is open, I promise. EA just don't like us having nice things. Like you say, half a second, nowhere near overtaking. It's got to be right underneath the diffuser to make the difference.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Cantos definitely feeling the faster of the two in this Singapore Grand Prix so far. Just though now, once again, he got past, but now he's sticking to the rear of Highwire, who is just slowly trying to creep back up to the rear of this train for the podium position. Sheehan, oh, in the wall and damage for the McLaren, just playing up the steer. And an end play is going to say bye-bye, and that front end is not going to turn. You can already see it there. And the Flying Dutchman will now look to make the move. Surely maybe a dive if you're brave into the hairpin. Thinking of it, not getting close enough. Fortis gets ahead of Katie, but as we apply the power on the exit of the hairpin, head down towards the opening corner of the final sector. Off goes Tanidran, and there's another virtual safety car deployed on lap 3 of 31. There's already 2 safety car deployments gone.
I was about to say, look at Yuri on the right-hand side. No end plate. He's got front wing damage in all of this chaos as well. Also hearing from Benji, that first set of corners contact, dropped it by himself. A rare mistake and a rare lapse of concentration from the championship leader in the first fleeting moments of the Singapore Grand Prix. And no real surprise, he's going to try something different. Into the pit lane comes the championship leader, and now we'll really see what metal and material champions are made of. What tyres does he go for? Damage will be fixed during this virtual safety car, so luckily he'll lose less time. No real surprise, it's the hard compound tyres and another wing, but it's the worst case scenario for Yuri Ahrens.
Shadow of a doubt, the championship leader now maybe about to run plumb last unless the Alpine comes into pit lane. If it was the 2025 cars, Yuri would be plumb last, but nonetheless, this is a big chance for the likes of Sheehan, for the likes of Chowdenby, duty to all gain massively on the championship leader, who is, at the minute, not going to be scoring a single point. Fortis with a drive-through penalty in 16th. As we make our way for green flag racing once again. And Jensen, unlike the last virtual safety car restart, has got the jump and has almost got a second over Infinity Candy Floss.
Timed it to perfection. Track limits penalties also raining in. Mackie got one extremely early. Justo has also followed him. In only 4 laps, he's already got 3 seconds, and that means quite a lot of time penalties. As Duty's round! Duty spins it at the bridge section before the hairpin. Oh dear, it's a lot of the heavy hitters struggling early on. Here in Singapore, this is not what either of us expected whatsoever. Damage on the left-hand side for the Mercedes as well. Whether he was helped round by Hazard or something like that, we do not know. He's sitting pretty in P8, Highwire in P9. But so many drivers falling foul to Singapore after only 4 laps.
I mean, you expected the chaos, but you normally expect the big names to be able to do it. Mackie has been passed by Arthur Way in towards the chicane. But the leader of the Grand Prix, Jensen, it's just found some pace off that virtual car restart. And this can maybe let his tires get too cold. It's just now trying to heat him up. Sheehan as well, another man who is trying now to make his way back up into the podium position. He started in 5th, and we know we're used to seeing him fight for Grand Prix victory. Could he finally get that victory today? Did he win in Madrid? I'm not too sure.
From memory, I don't think he did. Off the top of my head, according to statistics at least, there's been a couple of wins for Yuri before this race. There was a win for Elias from the last race, and I believe also from Mach 1. Of course, it was Mach 1 in the main event. Sheehan has 1 sprint win under his belt, but not a main race win in TTYB just yet. However, in other leagues gone by this week, he did manage to break his P2 curse in my presence. So today could be the day. No, it's P1 actually in this case, luckily for him. He actually, I know, he did it. And it could well happen today. And keep an eye on him as well. He's on those hard compound tyres. But to reiterate at the front, for Jensen Hookie, there is nothing lucky about this whatsoever. Has all the answers to the questions that the Ferrari driver behind him is posing. It's an imperious weekend of racing so far.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, the hard tyres seeming to come to life as well. We've had absolute chaos so far in this Singapore
God.
Grand Prix. And the big names, who's gone round in the back? I think that is the Williams of Mackie, who's in the barrier, and big front wing damage for the Williams driver. Well, one is leading, one is fading here in Singapore, sliding away on the exit of the corner, and that will surely warrant a trip to the pit lane for the Williams man.
Trip to the pit lane as well for Arthur Way, who got big damage from all of that chaos. Chowdenby has paid off God. Honestly, no damage from all of that. He was literally interlocked with the Williams. It was a spicy affair. I don't really want to talk about it. But the point is he got no damage out of that, which is unbelievable. Duty's got a 3-second time penalty. No real surprise, as he picked up the front wing damage.
She has got through.
Sheehan through, you're quite right. Through he goes, and at the end of Raffles Boulevard, haven't seen many a move through there, but finally on Elias, he's made it happen. The Australian Grand Prix race winner has to let through and roll out the red carpet for the RB driver. 2 cars between himself and the front of the field. The hard tyres working well out there.
Yeah, Sheehan made a move in towards turn number 7, the opening corner of the middle sector, and they got very close under braking. Sheehan gave the McLaren back the squeeze under braking. It could have been a tyre collision, but luckily for them, they both continue on, and Sheehan can now set his sights after the Scarlet Ferrari to try and prance his way past the prancing horse into second position. Then it's the Williams after the Ferrari, but like it is in racing car, it's always got to be one at a time here.
Well, as Mackie cries in P16, Mac 1 flies, ladies and gentlemen. However, Brian Evans is going to try and put a bit of pay to that particular script line because his hard tyres are firing up. Of course, there's been, oh goodness me, Sheehan's left. Sheehan leaves the session, and rotten luck again for the RB driver, who just cannot catch a break in these races. When he got P1 at the race I commentated earlier this week, he too had a disconnect. Wasn't so early on though. That was when he had a 10-second lead over the next car. Now his day has just become even more difficult. Saying that, his AI's got a bit of pace. He's holding up Elias at the moment, and Infinity and Jensen Hookie are counting their lucky stars. Elias pulls to the inside, doesn't get the exit. Sheehan's AI, Virtual Welsh Wonder, is holding down P3, but it's going to concede now, surely, as Elias goes round the outside. Rotax goes round the outside. Mac 1 and Brian Evans will follow through very shortly indeed. There goes Mac 1. Down the inside, and then you've got Brian Evans on the hard tyres to then become the lead hard tyre runner. No, Sheehan shuts the door virtually through though the Cadillac on the inside, and the sinking feeling just becomes even more exponential.
That's absolutely horrific. It reminds me that when it just got passed by everyone like Singapore 23, where the Red Bulls, they stayed out of that safety car, and now he's just fading down the order. Obviously nothing he can do. Such unfortunate fortune for the Welsh Wonder in the V-car livery. But if you're Candice from Jensen, you're probably breathing a sigh of relief there, aren't you? Because you had Sheehan absolutely charging through, and now it's nothing. Now he's going to be fading away, and he's got hazards up on his rear. I'll see if I can invite him, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. He's not appearing online for me at the current time. Hopefully he is now, but nonetheless, we go through, and yeah, there's nothing. He's not online for me at the minute, so I can't invite him.
Luckily, I can. Your saviour is here, Sheehan. Oh, never mind. That's an invite for Rio. Sheehan, where are you? I'm coming to save you, babe. Where are you? Sheehan, are you there? I can't find him. Sheehan, where have you gone? Why can I not find you?
Go off!
It's devastating. Oh, God, someone's gone off. Who's gone off?
I think it's Duty. I think it's Duty and Audi. I think it's Duty and Arthur Way came together on the opening corners of the racetrack, and it caused a brief yellow flag that allowed Null, and I think it's just allowed Null to sail on by. You see the Red Bull head of Sheldonby, but Carl, look at the gap between Null and Justo. That gap's 10.6 seconds, and Null's directly behind Null's directly behind. No, Sheldonby's directly behind Null. My God, I can't get my words out.
Well, there you are. 10 seconds gap, though, to the next car ahead. That's how much of a mountain Sheldonby has to climb, so the recovery's been good so far, but it's got to get a little bit better as Rotax goes down the inside of Elias. Australian Grand Prix race winner being displaced by some Vorsprung dog technique, but in the wall. A snap out of the exit, and the Audi are just again in the wall for good measure. Virtual safety car, nay, full safety car out on lap number 8. And Sheldonby again. I don't know what deal you did with the devil for this race, but my God, it's happened again. field will be condensed. Jensen Hooky, Infinity, no surprise, into the pit lane. That will get rid of their mediums, put them on the hard compound tyres. Oh no, graphical glitches on my end. This is going to be fun. Anyway, they'll be on the hard compound tyres. Sheehan's AI hasn't pit, and I can't exactly invite him back at the moment because he's apparently not online for me. Once it will all be fixed, though, Jensen Hooky is apparently on another set of meat. No, he's not. What is going on with this game?
I have absolutely no idea what is going on.
He's on hard. We're fine.
Elias has got 10 seconds spinning the pit lane.
Oh, he's retired as well.
What's going on?
Elias is gone. Elias has bowed out of this session. I am very perplexed as to what's going on. 10-second time penalty. I think it's purely visual from our end, which is unfortunate, but alas, that's the way the cookie has crumbled. I have invited Sheehan again. Just wait for the graphics to sort themselves out. They will fix, I promise. Noel and Sheehan are 3 and 1 respectively in this race, but they are yet to pit. Infinity has and is in P4. Jensen Hooky, provisional race leader, is in P2. Is not in the pit because the FIA forgot their guide dogs, but he is right at the back of Sheehan once the field bunches up. You've then got Hazza, who's gone for a bold strategy, gone onto the medium compound tyres as the Aston Martin driver. That might well be because he was on hards. I do have the memory of a goldfish. But it also means he can go all-out attack, whereas others who have stayed out on the older tyres don't have that luxury. So, inspired call from Hazard. He's just got to put the pace down now.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, a lot of these things it seems. I think Adblock said he's stuck in the pit lane, so that's not the most optimal thing. Should we have a look? Oh no, he's out on track now. It still says a lot of people are in the pit lane for me. I don't know if that's the same for you, but for me, it says a lot of people are in the pit lane still.
It does also say that as well, I'll be honest with you. Meanwhile, we're getting intel in the Twitch chat. Hello, everyone. Benji again, saying it was not on purpose, just lost his head and floored it, which, I mean, fair enough. All I can say is fair enough, but equally, judgment may be issued in another format, i.e. the steward's office. And they are very ruthless. Rio and I have about thousands of millennia worth of penalties, so it does get pretty heated through there. Nola is into the pit lane. He's going to get off the hard compound tyres and go ultra aggressive as well. There's got such a big gap to the likes of Hazard and Rotax behind. He's not actually going to lose that many places. Not that you'll be able to tell because he's teleported back onto the track, so what do I know? But he's going to get some medium compound tyres, and if he's gone balanced on the strategy, that means he'll go medium to the end, all out attack.
This is quite good for the VCOM crew, isn't it? It still says he's on old tyres for me that does it for Noel, so I don't know what's going on with this game, to be honest. It's quite questionable stuff.
You've got to love the EA effect. F126 in full flow. Apparently Nola got ahead as well. Oh, right, and suddenly Nola's leading the race. Nola completely deserved. Hazard now leads the Singapore Grand Prix. I've never seen scenes like it at the Marina Bay. Tanadran's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Who can even call action like this? The answer is you can't. It's absolutely ridiculous. Rotax now apparently leads the race. Brian Evans is in P2. Where on earth has Jensen Hooky and Co gone? They're in 14th, 15th and 16th. In other words, they're washed.
Tanadran's just got on the second. Lobby's bugged. The lobby's bugged. It's so bad. Brian leads the Singapore Grand Prix. What a drive. Sheldon B's up to 4.
I'll hold my breath quickly because I assume it's going to shuffle itself, and it will gradually because I had this in Creator Series Austria not
Monaco,
too long ago, but it was quite weird. It was, it might well have been Monaco, to be honest with you. It honestly could be any track knowing this game, but the point is it should shuffle itself around. Sheehan now up into P7. The other 6 will be shuffled into the correct order in a matter of moments, and then we shall be back in order, as you can see, just shuffling around, and then it should be okay. Meaning, Sheehan will eventually be in P1. Jensen and Infinity 2 and 3, because the second V-carb of Nola did pit onto new tyres, supposedly, although little do we know if he actually did or not. That's the big question. Apparently it's 9-lap old hards. I refuse to believe that, though. And the answer, well, according to the game, he's also still on the same hards. I'm really confused, basically. But the point is, hopefully Nola has some new tyres. And yes, finally it updates for me. New medium tyres. Status quo is resumed.
It's just still in the pit lane for me, though. He's come back into the pits. It says just that it's 2 minutes behind for me at this current moment in time. That's not the greatest, if it is 2 minutes behind. It might have to be. I don't know what's happening, if I'm being honest with you. It still says 2 minutes, 24 seconds.
Chat, we
Is this
might
just
be
EA
cooked.
being EA?
I think it might be EA. I hope it's EA being EA. Juice goes
Restart.
into the pit
Katie
again,
just said
ladies and
restart.
gentlemen. And Katie has called the gauntlet. The hammer has been thrown down. It's a restart.
Sheehan's been saved.
Sheehan has been saved. Race restart, because God only knows what kind of chaos we've had to deal with. And ladies and gentlemen, that will bring a very swift conclusion to at least the first race of TTYB, as Infinity's overtaken Jensen Hookie behind the safety car. Oh, the gloves are off! Jensen and Infinity, there's draw into the wall! There's been some beef between the Williams. Hazard's now getting involved in the action. He's going to be sent pirouetting. Infinity's back into P2. Jensen's half rolled over down towards the George Russell corner. Big shunt into the wall from Infinity, who teleports back on track. I think the stewards will have something to say about that, because that's very illegal. Hazard trying to take out the Ferrari. He's got a V-car miss. You can't even call what's going on. Jensen's out of the race. It hasn't taken him out, though. He's apparently still driving. Oh, dear. What a race, honestly.
I presume the grid order would be before the safety car, because that's when it wasn't bugged.
I assume so. That's my guess, anyway.
I'm going to guess we would have then a 35 percent Grand Prix, if I had to guess.
I believe you'd be correct on that front. If the grid, then, is to be set in the correct format, if we wind the clock back to the racing lap before the safety car, I think that's probably the way it will be issued. But apparently Jensen's still in this race, even though
I think it's completely bugged.
The game's
I think
gone.
we have to make a whole new
The
lobby.
game is
The
completely
game's gone now.
gone,
The game's
ladies and
gone.
gentlemen. The game was never there with EA, let's put it that way, but we're going to ignore that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we were having a cracking race. It was going to be a cracking race with the safety car. However, we'll never know. I presume it will be the racing lap that was completed just before the safety car came out, in which case Jensen will lead, Infinity will be in P2, Sheehan will be in P3, and then you go down from there. But there's still some takeaways we can take from this initial first 10 laps, even though it is a bit of a foregone conclusion. So what can we take away from this so far? Obviously, I think the main one is Jensen Hookie is really bloody quick.
Exactly. For a man who was down beating himself before the race, saying, "Oh, I'm just going to fall through the order," he had what, a 2-second lead before the safety car decided, and all the games had decided to say, "Yep, we're going to completely snap your lead away and reset everything." Nonetheless, he should, from what I'm hoping happens, he should start from pole. I think the biggest loser out of this, though, is Sheehan. Was third and will be, what, 7th, I would say?
I'm hoping he will be third place, so that's where he completed the previous lap, was in third place, I suppose, at least. So we'll find out. I'm thinking about changing setup. No, Jensen, don't change the setup. You were quick, man. Keep it. Speaking of which, though, the new lobby. We found it. All right. Katie has made a tasty lobby with 3 rashers of cremated, griddled back bacon on it, buttered bread cake, Chowdenby. Oh, I can't even join the lobby from him. Oh, Chowdenby, mate, that's poor rage bait from you, though.
Computer says no.
No, Chowdenby says no. So, speaking of Chowdenby and Yuri, though, and a lot of the heavy hitters, a lot of drivers struggling that probably we didn't expect. A lot of drivers being caught out by Singapore. Yuri on lap 1 was a big example.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. In a sense, this is probably what he needed. Just a complete reset. In a sense, it's back to lap 0, because we are probably doing a 35% race. Sheehan wants a mid-race interview.
Oh.
Should we do it?
She had a mid-race interview. Oh, go on then. Go on. We've got time to kill.
It'll do numbers.
Get in the waiting room, mate. Come on. Join the fun. Come on, mate.
While we're waiting,
take
Carl,
your
what's your
time,
score
mate.
prediction for tomorrow?
Score prediction for tomorrow. I'm going to say 1-1 England wins on penalties, because I'm feeling patriotic.
Don't let me go through that.
Although, to be fair, I think I'm going to say Norway wins 3-1 is probably my realistic option. What do you think, Rio?
2-1 England. Every game, both knockout games I said we'd lose, and they proved me wrong, because, well, I mean, England's just England, isn't it? I think it either is 1-1, like you said, and goes pens, or 2-1 for. I'll say 3-1. I think Kane will get a double, and Dan Burn was a header.
Dan Burn, the mighty Dan Burn. Honestly, what a guy! What a guy! Right.
Skate 2026.
Right,
we're changing the track. What do you mean?
What do you mean we're changing the track? It's a bit broken. Why not just turn off safety cars? That's my big question. Anyway, we're going to interview Sheehan while all of that conundrum puts itself to rest. Sheehan, welcome in mid-race interview or like mid-EA can't write a game interview, whatever.
Just mid-race.
Yeah,
Because it's been a
exactly.
mid-race.
So you were in P3. Looked like it was an
Mhm.
inspired strategy. Again, honestly, rotten luck, but the pace seemed really decent out there.
Yeah. It was a race-winning position. Hards up there in lap 6, P3, chasing down Infinity, catching him. I reckon I would have got past him really quickly, and I would have hunted down Jensen. And then the other hard medium is a lot stronger strategy here compared to medium hard. And the nearest hard runner was like Mackie, who was 3 seconds back at that point anyway. So it just seemed like it was, in my opinion, it was my race to lose at that point. After as well, Elias and McLaren did a bit of terrorism into turn 1. Almost killed me. Luckily, I lived. But yeah, 5 in a row. It's a new record. You know, like my game crashed last week when I was in P1, fighting for the win. So the first 3 races, it was other people hitting me. Race 4 and 5, my game's crashed.
Is your internet hitting you? It's not ideal.
It's not. No, my game just freezes. It like
It's EA
freezes. My
hitting you.
wheel. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not in there. The game just freezes. It crashes completely and shuts down. You know.
Well, when your Wi-Fi in your game was burning, my arms were burning at Silverstone because I had forgot sun cream and we didn't buy an umbrella until F1 Sprint Quality. But nonetheless,
Genius.
if it's a complete restart, which it won't be complete, it'll go for a 35% race. What's your strategy? Are you going to stick to like a hard medium, or do you reckon the softs could become viable in a 35%?
I'm just gonna go with it. Whatever. Is there a new lobby even open, by the way? I have no idea.
I
Anyway.
have no idea, bro.
I'm just gonna go with the flow now. I don't know the strategy for 35%, but I'm already been. Luckily, this lobby destroying itself is kind of good for me because I was not able to get back in. It just wasn't letting me back in.
You wasn't coming on to me.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna be P7, I think. Like around there, which is better than being disconnected and
Yeah.
you know, I would be normally if that happened last, but like. So yeah, it's probably salvageable. Maybe a podium is salvageable from P7.
Make it happen.
But like,
make it happen, mate.
You know, it could happen again.
Exactly.
It could
like
DC
Carl
me
was
again. It
saying.
could kick me again. It could. Maybe this race start I get taken out like it's 2017 Sebastian Vettel. You never know.
She has got bad voodoo on this game, honestly.
Yeah, I won
always the
Blackout
chance.
on Monday. It was great, and now it's downhill.
And there's stuff in the chat we've seen. Jensen's saying the track could be changed. If there is a
No, that's not the issue. That was said by Noel, I think. He said it said new track, new lobby, all happen again. We knew not new lobby or it'll happen again. But new track, it doesn't matter about the track. It happened in Creative Series Monaco. You know, they restarted with 50%.
I've got an invite.
They restarted the whole thing, right? Like, and it didn't happen again on the same track. It's not. It's just the lobby. New lobby. It shouldn't happen again. But like, what will happen again though is probably my game crashing.
Sure. Well,
that's tradition though.
Good news, my desk is made of wood.
At this point, we should drink to it.
I've knocked on said wooden desk. Your game's not going to crash, inshallah. Right.
And you do that again, but for my luck.
Got you. Right. As for it's a 35% race complete, right? Reset and everything. Tires are reset, etc., etc. Where do you go from this now? I don't know whether you're going to be P7 or P3, whatever they decide to take the data from.
If it's P3, I'm jumping for joy, and I'm going to, for the first time, praise the moderators. I shouldn't say that, actually.
Right.
The moderators are great in this league. Thumbs up.
Fine him 10k, 5% enough.
1 million year penalty for Sheehan issued right now.
Yes.
But how do you play this? What's your strategy going to be now we've got a slightly shortened race ahead of us?
I don't know. I don't. Like, it's hard to say. 35%. Like, I would think hard would still be the way to go, but there'll be less laps to capitalize on that, you know, compared to the 31 we would have had this time. I reckon I could have done it in the 31 lap race. But I'm not too sure, but I might just do what everyone else. I might be a sheep this one, actually.
Sure, yeah.
Follow everyone else following. I was surrounded by medium runners the first start, and it kind of worked. It still worked out for me. Elias, he was everywhere before he got safe car, apparently. Again, I wasn't there for that one. He was sliding everywhere. I got him, clean move. fun game. Chasing Down Infinity, then obviously game. To be fair, even when I won in the blackout, I got kicked from it anyway, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
So, like-
and you still won. So
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't.
never
Like,
say never. Honestly,
I don't. What can I do? That's all I'm gonna say.
if you give just 10,000 of your English pounds to one of the moderators, then maybe your game won't crash.
It ain't
That's
going.
just,
It ain't
it's
going
just
to
a
beat you.
theory. It's just a theory.
I have a
But
suggestion.
What's your
Get a
suggestion?
is it
PC.
£10,000 back to you? Oh, I see.
I wouldn't mind
I
that
think I had a PC.
personally. I wouldn't
Yo,
mind
Rio,
the 10
Rio,
grand
can I
as
get
well.
your PC that you just bought? I reckon that'd do me nicely.
I was going to say something
And
else.
I'll also get the new name. What's that? Russ 9876.
We said my dad's name out on TV. Why?
Oh,
Is that
Oh, that's-
actually what
okay,
it's
yeah. Is that your dad's name in numbers included?
No, the number's not.
Because your dad had got 4 numbers in his name. So I didn't say your dad's name out loud. All right, chilling.
Well, he could be Elon Musk's kid. You know.
Elon Musk it.
If
What?
your dad was Elon Musk's kid, I would
Built
be
like a gun.
shockingly surprised to see you in an F1 league. Did not like in the mansion, but there we go. I reckon I should stay in here for the race. I'll be the Ted Kravitz, but I'll be
Team
on the
radio.
track.
Team radio.
Ted
Yes,
Kravitz
yes,
on the track.
I'll be the one who's given the info. I'll be like, holy shit, I've just been sent. I'm in the wall.
So what
yeah.
we do? If he DNFs, we drag him back in, and someone pits. Tyler Ted Kravitz in the pit lane. What's going on?
Generally, if my game crashes again, I'll just be in here. I reckon. I think that's a lot better use of my time
What you
compared
do,
to
if you want to
trying to get back in this
deafen.
one.
Just deafen. Then if you DNF,
No, just like if it's a saved card, I'll undeafen.
there's one positive though.
What's the one positive? Tell me.
You haven't been killed by Snake this race
Hmm.
from when I last was here.
Yeah, he died.
Very early on, yeah.
Yeah, just almost as early as Silverstone. Yeah.
He's not getting
no, I don't know what happened.
resurrected.
Yuri spun into Snake. That wasn't even Snake's doing.
Oh.
I think
For
Yuri
what?
just bottled it into Snake. And then I got an illegal overtake on Snake. I turned around. His car was in the
He's
wall.
dead.
So my bad for doing that illegally, I guess. Sorry.
Oh no.
Maybe next time I should overtake him cleanly. But we know how that went last time.
Well,
All right.
without
I reckon this one's going to go a lot better. This is
Yeah.
the one.
this
I
is the
say it
one.
every week that
Telling
today's the
you.
day. Today's the day.
It's gonna
I've got a
happen.
question though.
Yeah.
There's
Why
one thing we
am I
haven't
stressing
done.
for? You know?
One thing we haven't done before.
Got no reason to stress. I'll be fine.
One thing we haven't done before. What we've not done before, really.
Yeah, the one thing we haven't done before is ask a driver for their race winner predictions mid-race.
Oh,
So Sheehan,
all right.
Oh,
what's
shit.
your race winner
Alright.
prediction?
I'm liking the speed of the Sheehan guy. His
Excellent.
luck, though, has been absolutely horrid, so I don't think he's going to win. His game's probably going to... His wheel's probably going to set on fire in his
Excellent.
hands. This one, you never know. But if not Sheehan, I think it's going to go to... I want to say Jensen, but he's really infuriating. Like, in that VC, like, he's loud, he's obnoxious. When he got pole, the scream on the mic killed me. It was so bad. And I told him, you need to convert it, my guy. Then we'll talk. Okay?
He's doing exactly
So
that.
we might still
far,
do that.
well. Speaking of the Jensen, he is in the Twitch chat. Sheehan, it's okay, XX.
Honestly, yeah, to be fair, I reckon Infinity kills him. Because Infinity's going to be P2 on the grid, Jensen's going to be
Oh my
P1,
God,
Infinity's going to see the gap, he's going to go for it, and then they're dead.
It's
Like,
going to be Raikkonen, Verstappen, and Vettel all over again.
yes. Who's going to be P3 though? If I'm P3, better not be me. Even though that's P2, 3, and 4 that day, I think it was. It wasn't. I forgot.
Well, first to say, you have
I'm
been
sad.
rage baited by D Jensen.
Indeed. Yeah, I've been.
Oh yeah,
very
no,
happy
it's
to
just
race
like
day.
he's. Generally, I'm in at 11. We started an hour ago, and we started 22 laps.
Already been an hour. Crikey.
I
Time
know.
flies when having fun.
Yeah,
It has been a minute in Singapore, and it's only
time
going to
flies
get
when your
longer.
game freezes.
Absolutely.
If you don't go, why are we going? I'll probably doing the lobby, doing the grid.
Yes.
Who left? Someone's left.
I'm gonna
Who
ask
left?
where I'm at.
Two of us have never been. Who's gone? Might have been
How many
Sheehan.
DNFs
No,
are
it's
there?
not. He's still there. I'm joking.
No, oh come on,
He's there for now.
not yet.
I see more people readying. Is
I'm
this
gonna.
the
My lights are
moment?
the lights are gonna go out, and so is my game.
I
We're
hope not.
starting, we're going.
Sincerely,
Right,
we
Sheehan,
hope not.
Go have
Brilliant.
your fun.
Have your fun,
Wait,
Sheehan.
hold on, wait.
Good luck.
No. All right, okay, whatever. I don't know where I'm starting. I was gonna tell you where I'm starting, but I've not been given that information just yet.
We'll be
Well,
able to see.
we'll find out. Don't you worry. Honestly, good luck out there. Do well. Hopefully, we'll see you at the end. Enjoy it, man.
I want to do well so bad, please. One time, I'm begging you.
You can do it. Come on.
Here's something big. Here's something big, Carl and Rio. Check the rules for a restart. It doesn't say anywhere about changing your setup on the restart.
Oh my god. Well, well, well. The driver that left, by the way, also was Sneck, who got smited on whatever it was, lap 1. So, naturally, he can't magically respawn back into the race. So that is the end of his night in Singapore. Very early doors. What we do have, very soon, is a return back to the streets of Singapore. And the question continues. Where do we think Chowdenby's going to finish?
It depends where he's starting, really. I think where he got up to, what, 12th? I think he got up to 12th, 13th, 14th, around that. Now he's got 20. He's in 9 laps. He's made like 9 positions. Hasn't he? He's made the 11th lap. I think he'll get a podium now. I think he will. If he can, there will be chaos again. I think it's Singapore. There's always going to be chaos. I think he can weave through the field. I reckon a podium's now on for the reigning champion. What about you?
Oh, I'm tempted to say a podium place as well. I'm going to put him just outside. I'll say P4. I think P4 for Chowdenby is entirely reachable and possible. And maybe some spice ups in strategy corner because it's a 35% race. So this, ladies and gentlemen, very shortly when I get the chance, is the grid. Jensen in first, Infinity in second, Mac 1 in P3 with Brian Evans, Hazza rounding out the top 5. Sheehan is in P6. So, of course, the DNF of the McLaren has meant Sheehan's inherited another place. Great news. Rotax in 7th, Highwire in 8th, Nola in 9th with Chowdenby rounding out the top 10. So instead of 12th place, he's going to be on the outskirts of the top 10.
Yeah, about that. Then we go down throughout the order. Duty sat in P11. Then you got Arthur Waite in P12. Katie in the Scarlet Ferrari sat in P13. It's Mackie 14th. Yuri, the championship leader, now behind the man who is second in the World Championship. And Chowdenby is now probably smiling at the sight of that. Adblocks is in 16th. James is in 17th. Fortis in 18th. And Tanivan will round out the order. Something I do want to check as well. Have they turned safety cars off? We go to rules and flags. Safety cars on standard.
Standard. Okay. Well, hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, we get to work on the strategies front. Mostly mediums and hards. And this time, instead of Duty going on to softs for now, it's Mac 1 going on to softs. So opting for that track position, gambling on an earlier safety car, once again rearing its head, it is entirely possible. There is going to be a bit of a lull in proceedings, of course, as everyone gets their setups on the car, everyone gets their strategies hooked up. You get the idea. Infinity responds to the soft tyre call from the Alpine by snapping on the mediums, therefore getting a better race start. And again, if Jensen gets the same kind of launch that he did at that first start for the 50% race, he's going to be absolutely fine going through. He showed he had the pace and could hold the track position extremely well.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And something I'm excited for is this race start. Not only because of the chaos, because I get to hear your wonderful voice do the commentary on the race start again.
Oh, Rio.
But nonetheless, it's absolute chaos in Singapore. We saw it on the race start. There's probably at least 5 cars that got picked up damage from the last race start. And once again, Jensen will be, as quick as he is, he will be hoping, and he's gone to the soft car. A lot of soft tyres now. Jensen, Mac 1, Hazza, and Duty. Of course he's gone for it. Yuri's gone for the softs. The championship leader's gone aggressive here in Singapore.
Can't blame him at all. He's got absolutely nothing to lose out there. So every little helps. 35% race. It could actually be a little bit more possible to make the soft tyre gamble work and go on to hards a little bit earlier. It is a possibility. But if you get caught out early doors and have to use them up overtaking, you're going to look like a bit of a fool. Which if you're in a Williams racing car anyway, you are a bit of a fool. But that's a conversation for another day entirely. Race start will be upon us in a matter of moments. I have no idea when it's starting. I'm praying that Twitch chat has some kind of information on that. There's Bilbo Swaggermuffins here. Hello, Bilbo. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in. Don't know who you think's going to win this race, but Yuri and Chowdenby at the moment are in a bit of a skip in 15th and 10th respectively. Katie saying we're hoping the safety car glitch doesn't happen again, or just a safety car at all, which is fair enough. As Benji says, if I was Yuri, I would start on the softs. Well, guess what? Just to double down on that particular prophecy, Yuri is still on the soft compound tyres. Nothing to lose for the championship leader in 15th place. A Singapore Grand Prix to forget so far. Could it be revitalized into remembrance in a 35% race restart? That is the big question. Jensen says should be now. Countdown is on. Make sure, if you aren't already and want to keep up with the TTYB action, it's not just Tier 1 that runs. We have Tier 2 and the F126 regulation circus. We also run a lot of Le Mans Ultimate, so make sure you follow if you haven't already. Adblocks is praying for no chaos into Turn 1. You don't know what league you stepped into if you're asking for that one, my friend. Here we go. Very soon. Let the atmosphere simmer down. Jensen said should be now. I don't know what that means. I'm on tenthooks right now, mate. I'm literally just guessing now when the race is going to start. When it does start, this time it will be Williams on the left as before, but not a Haas on the right-hand side of your picture. It will be the Scuderia Ferrari car of Infinity Candy Flop. And then it will be a massive duel and dice, a dogfight for the ages at the end. And we'll be all here for it. Don't discount the likes of Chownaby, Brian Evans in particular, who's in P5. We know his race pace is rapid. He's got a great chance. Sheehan could well have a good chance as well if his game does not crash. But this is it. 5 red lights, the second Singapore sling. It is lights out and away we go. And is it a good start for Jensen? Yes, it is again a great start for Jensen. Mach 1 on those soft tyres, trying to displace Infinity out of P2. The Ferrari has the answers for the moment, and that means Jensen again can escape into the distance early on. And Brian Evans is going to make his way on through on the medium compound tyres. Round the outside he goes. That's 2 soft tyre runners displaced. Brilliant work from the Cadillac driver, the 2-time F71 champion. Is just continuing to make strides in Singapore. Have they made it through Raffles Boulevard? Absolutely fine. The answer is yes, they have. Chowdenby under threat at the moment, shows the nose to the inside of Nolla. It's going to be Duty that picks up the pieces. Round the outside, goes to Mercedes. Arthur Way sends the championship chaser plummeting down the order, and Yuri's already on his tail.
Yeah, without a much more clear start through the rest of the field this time, and the top 2 already starting to streak away from Brian Evans in 3rd position as they go away over the Anderson Bridge and around the hairpin, head down towards the end of the middle sector where the top 2 already a second clear of the rest of the field. We go under braking then, and Yuri Aaron's looking to put pressure on Sheldon B. The championship leader looking to put pressure on the championship chaser. The 2 rivals from last season are preparing to do battle, but on this occasion they will stay line as as they go through the chicane. They're all well behaved, aren't they, Carl, on this occasion, on this particular lap?
Absolutely. Time very much against Yuri as well on those soft compound tyres, so he needs to make it happen sooner rather than later. Jensen leads. A lot of curb taken at turn number 1. Infinity in 2nd place. Brian Evans in P3 with Mach 1 and Hazard rounding out the top 5 through turn number 4 onto Raffles Boulevard for the 2nd time in this restarted race. As Infinity gives Barrier a quick peck on the cheeks. Fair play to you, Sunshine. Battery to burn for the Ferrari. He'll get close, but not close enough. Battery to be saved. And Brian with a bucket of popcorn in the background, waiting in the wings. Duty closing in on the 2nd V-car on the road. Look how wide they all go at the exit of turn number 6. It's absolutely ridiculous. That surely will be a warning, but Duty doesn't really care. He's going to try and go round the outside, try a switchback, but gets caught up in the contact. Now it falls to Arthur Way to try and get through in the Audi car. Thinks much better of it, and Chowdenby can't prize the position away again from one of our Flying Dutchmen. Still, he remains frustrated.
Yeah, that just look, good save there, but a little bit of a slide on the exit of the corner after the collision. But Arthur Way as well, looking to make that move now on Null as they run side by side down towards the next corner. They're going to, no, will not get this up onto braking all the way around the outside, wheel-to-wheel contact, and now crushed to the wall from the Audi as they make our way towards the chicane. It might be free riders duty as well, looking to get involved in the action. Wheel to wheel we go. Brave on the brakes, goes Arthur Way to soar around the outside of Null with a brave and a brilliant late braking maneuver. But at the front of the field, it's like what we saw in the early stages of race 1, where Jensen Hookie, he had the lap 1 pace, but in lap 2 and 3, Candy Frost is reeling him in ever so slightly.
Indeed he is. Superlative start again from Jensen Hookie in the Williams F1 car. Ferrari at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship at the moment, or close to the bottom. They need all the points they can get in Infinity, in a great position to provide those points. Brian Evans losing touch a little bit here and there. We know his battery management is exceptional. He waits until the end of the lap to properly put it down. So just when you think you've escaped, he goes, no siree, not today, naughty naughty. As meanwhile, P7, Rotax losing touch with Sheehan, the top 6, all within overtake range of one another. And then it begins to get more spaced out. Yuri crucially made the move on Chowlenby as well, using his soft tyres to good effect. But how long will they last? Because they're going to be disintegrating under the Singapore heat.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. Yuri crucially got ahead of his nearest rival for the title, but they're now both stuck in this crusade of cars where Duty will be gaining once again on Null. Will he go brave to the inside? He will dive on the inside, and that is a lovely move. They fly a hook, and there's damage to the Mercedes. Through goes Yuri in the Haas, and Chowlenby as well. And the red carpet has been rolled out, like you would say, for both the two rivals for the titles. And they both will say thank you very much. Duty and Null will continue to scrap amongst themselves.
Oh, no.
Duty's around. Round goes the Mercedes, hits the wall with the rear wing, and Duty will say goodbye to any hope of a good result in Singapore. At the front of the field, though, 3.5 tenths, maybe that 4 tenths, as they make their way through turn 5 before we head down the straight towards turn number 7. And is this the chance? Is this the close opportunity that Candy Frost wanted? He's gaining in the slipstream. Is he close enough for a dive? Thinks of a look to the inside, but on this occasion, not close enough to make anything happen. But it's surely a matter of time. Candy Floss seeming more comfortable, applying all the pressure to Jensen Hookie, who has been in command and control of the Singapore Grand Prix up until this point. And now is the pressure proving that he's not got the, well, he has got the pace clearly, but has he got the confidence at the front of the field? Another moment at the exit of the corner after as well.
Oh, no.
That spins on the exit of the corner. Luckily, I don't think any damage, but luckily, no damage. Wheel to wheel, let's run again in the wall. Through goes Yuri and Sheldon. It's another 3-2 positions for the top 2 in the World Championship.
Just when you think someone's made the move, we immediately curse them. Some kind of hex going on in the Singapore streets as Nola now on the outside of Arthurway going for the switchback. These two were interlocked into combat earlier on in this restarted race. And now, once again, Gorilla Glue to one another. Nola to the inside, battery burning, full front wing complement. Arthurway still somehow has a full front wing on his Audi as well, though, so dispels that particular charge. Nola is into the pit lane, though. Very, very early call from the RB driver. Perhaps just wanted to get out of traffic. On the subject of Infinity, though, again, he goes to half a second. He's got 70% battery on him. And I want to play a bit of devil's advocate as Sheehan's getting very, very close to pulling the pin on absolutely exploding past the Aston Martin of Hazard down Raffles Boulevard towards turn number 6 on the track. Round the outside, the RB goes, and round the outside, inch perfect from Sheehan. Absolutely superlative stuff.
Well, that's the moves. That's exactly the moves he has to make, though. He's a proven race winner in other series. He's a race winner here. Well, a sprint race winner, I should say. He has the pace. He's just obviously the desync or the disconnect from the race 1. It's just completely off the chances, but and a huge but. He's already coming back through the field, and up next, he's already put it Mach 1 under all sorts of pressure as we go over the anti-bridge exit, the hairpin down towards turn number 15, I believe this is. I might be completely wrong, I don't actually know, as we head through the corner, and then plenty of battery and restores for both of them. But if you look at the battery, Candy Floss has got similar batteries, high wires running wheel to wheel with the championship leader. Through goes Yuri. Can Chowlenby now pick up as well a play as they make their way towards the next corner? Chowlenby will think of it, but we know how careful the driver is, and Chowlenby will not want to take any risks in these current phases of the Singapore Grand Prix. Keegan's getting close once again towards turn number 1, but he's going to sit behind Mach 1. But once again, this overtake mode is helping Candy Floss so much. But of course, with the overtake mode, you get to recharge so much more battery. He's able just to save at least an extra 20-30%. As Sheehan makes the move. On the exit of turn 5, head down towards turn 7. Where Sheehan is getting also close, looking for the inside line. He's got the inside line as they apply the brakes for turn 7. On the inside he goes, trying to get the other out. Little bit of a moment there as behind off the road goes the Aston Martin. Mach 1 stays in 4th, Sheehan stays in 5th. Oh, the Aston Martin that left the road is in P6. But that has got an illegal overtake, so through goes Rotax. At the front of the field is still getting closer than Candy Floss, keeping that pressure on.
Yeah, great pace from these two at the front. And like you say, extra harvesting ability for the Ferrari driver, courtesy of the overtake mode. But to play a bit of devil's advocate with Infinity, he's like saves about 70% of his battery. It's very easy to save battery at Singapore, particularly through the second sector. So does he really just need to burn more battery? Because he has the ability to save more. The only way he's going to get past Jensen Hookie is by actually throwing caution to the wind as much as possible. Not lifting and coasting. He lifts and coasts a little bit into that chicane there. Maybe he just doesn't need to do that though. Maybe carrying the speed and putting even more pressure on the Williams is exactly what he needs to do. Because at the moment, playing it cautious is just not working.
Without a doubt, Mac 1 made a mistake on the exit of turn 15, which has just allowed you to slide on by. I think Mac 1 is having a bit of desing. Into pit lane comes Hazard, the first one of the top 6 to peel into the box. And could this be an undercut attempt to try and get with the leaders? We know how powerful it's going to be. You have all these medium and high and slow speed corners around the Marina Bay Street Circuit. At the front of the field, though, Jensen's maybe recouped himself a little bit, regathered himself to try and just make sure that he can just gain some composure once again, and now get back into his room, because it was quite a shady couple of laps, wasn't it? Where his Candy Floss was around 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths of a second away. It's now it's now down to 4 tenths again. But then this is Jensen's weak part of the track, because now, as I say that, this is the best chance for the Ferrari.
Oh,
Jensen's
no.
left the session on the inside. Candy Floss leads the Singapore Grand Prix. Jensen's disconnected, and that's the worst possible outcome for him.
I do not believe it. My heart is plummeted to the Mariana Trench for Jensen Hookie. That is an absolutely heartbreaking image. The Williams driver has been utterly invincible during this Singapore weekend, the race weekend of his life, all the way through. And it's all unraveled in a matter of moments. There is still time for him to get back into this session, but that is absolute disaster for the man that has been on it from the word go. If he does manage to reconnect and get in quickly, he can peel into the pit. Speaking of which, Brian Evans is doing exactly that. Getting off the medium tyres and making the early switch onto the hard compound. And if you're Infinity, with the undercut and how powerful it is, surely you've got to respond this lap.
Without a doubt, Sheehan will now gain the benefits of someone who is disconnected. There is yellow flags in that final sector. It's the Audi, I believe, of half away, who might have had a mistake in turn, I don't know the corner number, I think it's turn 18, I think that is the final corner. But anyway, nonetheless, Sheehan will now roar on by the Williams driver. I have sent it on, my heart goes out, like you said, to Jensen. Oh
my God
almost contact
almighty.
between the V-Cup and the Williams. And round the outside, Sheehan goes. That gap is 3 seconds, though, between Sheehan and Candy Floss. And if you're Jensen, Carl, what do? When you get the chance, do you just box as soon as you can to go for the undercut, try and get back with them?
I think you have to, and not as unfortunate as it is, I think you just have to get yourself on some sort of a level pegging. Another yellow flag as the Audi again has a bit of a problem out of the pit lane. And I think the problem might be telling. He's got no front nose. On my screen, he's literally not got a nose box at all. It's an alternative aerodynamic package that the Audi team are running out there in partnership with Revolut to show you that contact is not the best form of payment. But equally, I think they've got the design of the car completely wrong. Infinity leads, and take nothing away from Infinity as well. He's driven an incredible race as well. A bit of a lock-up into the chicane. But the pace he's displayed in the Ferrari car has been exemplary all the same, as stuck to the back of Jensen Hookie like glue, and surprisingly does not peel into the pits at the end of this lap. He's going to go one more here, and could that invite Brian Evans into the conversation for the lead?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't, how much time do you lose in a pit stop around Singapore? I'm not actually all that sure. But I'm having a look at gap to leader. That gap between Candy Floss in first and Brian Evans in 13th, 26 seconds. I think it is at least 22, 23 seconds. For the longer Candy Floss goes, obviously it will help in terms of tyre wear, but this will give Brian Evans all the chance. We know he's got the pace. Remember back to Silverstone, where he was fighting with the likes of myself and Yuri, and that he has the pace for sure. Of that, there is no question. But it's just about, oh, this is strategy gamble, right? He has got 5.3 seconds worth of clean air until he arrives to the Mercedes of duty. But it's just a question of when do the likes of Infinity and Sheehan. By the way, speaking of Sheehan, he's getting 9/10 already on Candy Floss. Sheehan showing he can fight for Singapore victory.
Yeah, he's got a monstrous pace, has the Welsh Wonder, a sprint race winner in TTYB. Has never quite ascended to the throne of full race winning credentials. Today could be the day that all changes. Brian Evans has gained about 6 tenths so far on this lap. Not a meteoric gain, but it is enough He was only 3 seconds off the race lead, and by extension, Infinity, when he peeled into the pit lane. So, can't afford to stay out too much longer. Now's probably the prime time to get into pit row, switch onto the hard compound tyres. Does Infinity agree with that statement? Absolutely, he does. Bit of a dubious pit entry. I pretend that one didn't exist. We'll cut to Sheehan. Look at this, admins. Nothing happened. Infinity took the pit lane completely legally, as he doesn't speed into the pit lane. Crucial for the Ferrari driver. It will be hard to the end of the race. Brian Evans is going through the final chicane, so Infinity will get his tyres strapped onto the wagon. He's back out into the pit lane. We ride on board with the chasing Cadillac. Many times a champion, in fact twice, a champion in F71. Many times he's tasted the glory of victory. Ferrari peels out of the pit lane. Infinity has left it one lap too long. Brian Evans takes the provisional race lead of the Singapore Grand Prix.
Exactly. You pictured that to perfection, Carl. Exactly what has happened, and Brian Evans got over a second lead, but my attention went to Mach 1 when he came to pit lane. He's gone for the soft medium strategy, and that makes me wonder, does Sheehan think he has to do something different here? Speaking of positions changed, Jensen Hookie's just got past the championship leader. Hazard as well going past the championship leader. And this is not the optimal race. Jensen cuts across the front of the Aston Martin, leaves the circuit. Doesn't keep the position after because of going off the circuit, but he should be all okay. But in terms of where he was fighting, he's 6.6 seconds behind Candy Floss.
Yeah, a bit of psychological damage for Jensen Hookie, as you can completely understand. Also, because his AI put him onto mediums, didn't have time to change it before he was shuffled into the pit lane. So he's got to make another stop before the end of this race. More heartbreak descends on the Williams driver. What we do know, though, is that he's got bucket loads of pace, so he's got to use it. Sheehan into the pit lane. He's going to come out behind Brian Evans and behind Infinity by extension. Don't count out Infinity. Him and Jensen had the measure of Brian on pure pace. Has got newer tyres as well. Yellow flag. Arthur Way's out of the Grand Prix. A full safety car. Could Sheehan's blushes have been spared? Luck could be finally on his side. Oh my goodness me. Out of the pit lane comes the RB driver. Where on earth are Brian Evans and Infinity gonna shuffle? It's so close, but they're ahead. Only just ahead. Infinity's almost hit the wall with his urgency to try and get out ahead. I think he's just done it. My goodness me. Any later, no, Sheehan moves up at least one place, but any earlier, the safety car was called. What a different conversation for the lead we could have been having.
Without a shadow of a doubt, this helps Mackie so much. Look at Mackie, he's got 14 seconds on Brian Evans. He will come out, I believe, in what? P4, I think? He should be absolutely clear of Yuri Aarons. But this has just shifted the narrative so much on exactly the halfway mark. It will be quite the way to go for Mackie on the mediums. But the safety car period will save him at least, like, what, 1, 2, 3 laps to be able... I've just taken a screenshot. Oh, my God. Sorry. I dropped my keyboard, and I've now got a 30-second clip of whatever happens.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a narrative you've absolutely got to run with. Mackie Williams leads. One Williams was right up at the sharp end. Mackie remained relatively anonymous, still quietly going about it, though. What a chance he's got as well. Gap to Brian Evans is 14.5 seconds. We'll stabilise at about 14 seconds. We'll keep loads and loads of time saved up for the pit lane. That's the great thing for Mackie, and also good because he'll be on mediums, and they can be saved during this safety car period. So, luck falls into the hands of the glory from Grove. Into the pit lane comes the second Williams driver. Jensen Hookie has now managed to get onto his mandatory set of hard compound tyres. It's going to be a comeback from 17th all the way up to the top. Where does Mackie emerge? It's going to be, I think, a pretty comfortable P4 place. So great stuff from Williams, and he's even going to change his front wing. He's got so much time to be able to do so. And that means the order is thus. Brian Evans leads in Singapore on pure pace. We didn't think it was likely, but it turns out that's the way the mantra has fallen. Sheehan in P2, Infinity up to third place. Yuri in all of this is now fourth. Mach 1 in fifth. Too much time lost in the pit lane for Mackie with the front wing means that Highwire is going to be shuffled up into sixth place. On new mediums, though, Mackie peels out onto the track with Nola, Katie in P9, and finally Chowdenby rounding out the top 10. Hasn't quite fallen into place for Chowdenby, but Yuri, championship leader, wow, it's just gone from better to better.
Yeah, something I've just read in the chat. It's an unbiological Team 1-2. It's an Xbox 1-2. It's the console I transferred from that are now 1 and 2. So Brian Evans leads. That strategic undercut. Yes, it's left him as the oldest size of the top 3, but track position in Singapore, oh so crucial especially these cars to make sure. I mean, it's not as much as these cars. If it was F125 cars, he would be loving life right now, because track position is key because of the dirty air. There's still dirty air, of course, but nonetheless, it's basically null and void with these regulations. Yuri, like you said, up 4th, but Xiaomi's not really moved, has he? I don't think he's actually changed position from where he started. I'm going to get it up now for myself. If I have a look at positions
You're right,
gained.
he hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't. One of 2 drivers, himself and Adblocks, have not changed position. Yuri's up 11. That's not what we expected to see from Xiaomi. Normally he's a maestro of up the orders. Off the road goes Mackie in the Williams.
How on earth's he done that? On new mediums and P7, no pressure whatsoever. Mackie has made a monumental mistake behind the safety car. Has even let through duty. So got an illegal overtake on the Mercedes as well. So even more heartbreak for Williams. What an absolutely disastrous race that is. Okay, duty lets Mackie through. Normal service has been resumed, but even so, disaster for the British-based team. Somewhat British-based is Cadillac, and they lead this race. The tale of 2 halves for Cadillac, but now track position, like you say, oh so important. Brian Evans could finally break the deadlock in TTYB in the main race. Sheehan could do the same. Infinity could do the same. 3 drivers, history could well be written here in Singapore, but then the championship leader is not far behind.
Now, obviously, but the thing you've got to count into here, Yuri has the same age tyres as your Grand Prix race leader, Brian Evans. So it will be, obviously, it's probably not a lot as wear, because there was only like 1 or 2 laps done before the safety car had come out, or actually maybe 3 laps, I apologize. But my eyes as a Mac, medium compound tyres, the only one of the top 11 to have new medium compound tyres. Someone says this hasn't helped. High wire.
No.
1 or 2 drivers with time penalties, and he's in this bunched up field. Noel's out on 8 lap old hard tyres.
It's happened again. It's happened again. Nola on old odds. It's happened again. Lap 13 of this race. 1 RB. Right at the sharp end. Ready to slice and dice his way through Brian Evans. However, if you're Nola, well, the slice and dice has been blunted by the fact you have the older tyres and you haven't pit. I don't really know why that's happened. It's beggar's belief, to be honest with you. Although, to be fair, he did pit very early. That's the reason he finds himself in this position, because of the healthy undercut. But that could be put pay to very quickly. Safety car is in this lap. And what that means, of course, Brian Evans, race leader, can dictate the pace of the field. Everyone behind's got to be very careful to have the awareness. And also got to be careful because people have been caught out with penalties by being alongside during the safety car restart. We have seen it happen. We have seen it be dished out. So they've just got to have their wits about them to judge the speed correctly and judge when the Cadillac is going to pull the trigger to get us back to racing speed in a matter of moments. That question will be answered, and then rubber shall be burnt. Away we go, out of the double left-hander. We're back racing on the streets of Singapore. Infinity with a sumptuous slingshot into turn number 1, shows the nose. Fates the dummy to the inside. Chalnaby already going through on Katie in the second Ferrari, up into P8. 2 positions gained. 1 was on the safety car, but that wasn't dubious, don't worry. Brian Evans leads, Sheehan in second, Infinity in third, both on newer tyres than the race leader. Yuri versus Mach 1 though. That's the big battle towards Raffles Boulevard. Going through Raffles Boulevard. The medium shot runner goes to the inside. Yuri leaves the space, but clattering over the inside curb does not inherit you positive position placement. Mackie remains in P5, and now it's going to get very cutthroat indeed.
Well, now Mac just has to get on with it. He has to. The medium tyres will slowly start to fade compared to the hard tyres. The hard tyres will be the fastest tyre come at the end of these 22 laps, but high wire as well will be stuck on the rear, but wanting to pull away. They've already got a 1.4 second gap to Casey, who was quickly dispatched on the inside of the hairpin. Minor contact between Mac and Yuri. He went for it. He has to try and go for it. He can't be sitting behind here. He has to just get impatient here. Jensen's got past Adblocks, or he's momentarily dueling with him. for P16 in the Grand Prix, but Mack as well will be wanting to get a move on here. Brian leads, Sheehan getting close as well. As blocks with a 3-second time penalty for track limits, Mack will look once again to try and make that move. Candy Floss is 10th and a half behind Yuri, behind Sheehan, as they make their way round the final corner, and we head down the main straight to start lap number 15 of 22. Mack has got a time penalty. The leader of the medium runners has got a time penalty, and the Singapore victory hopes have been dashed in an instant as we go through the opening couple of corners. Overtake enabled finally, and there's a virtual safety car deployed on lap 15 here. The field will all slow down and will stay. It will be line astern until we get green flags again.
Yeah, VSC deployed. I'm trying to see why, if anyone's got any particular damage. I know Adblocks was wayward towards the corner. He's got damage, but not as much damage as Tanidran, who's got a lot of damage on the right-hand side of the Alpine car. That is certainly not ideal whatsoever. On lap 15, time running out, though, very quickly. 35% race. You forget how much quicker the racing can run down by. Matt Kwan's charge extinguished in an instant with a 3-second time penalty. But you've got the top three. Brian Evans has to hold that track position. Overtake will be re-enabled. Lots of boost in the tank. And Katie, after what was going to be a very, very positive race for the Ferrari, it's going to fall into insignificance. A drive-through penalty for the Ferrari. And while she goes about that, Infinity is very, very close to displacing Sheehan here.
Yeah, Kansas wants to get a move on here. He knows that virtual safety cars cost him. The safety car cost him the position to Sheehan as we go on the exit of turn or whatever. I need to get my call numbers right. Sorry. As we make our way towards the chicane, Candice will be gaining once again. That was a brilliant virtual safety car restart by Brian Evans, who leads this Grand Prix ahead of Sheehan. Xbox are still running 1 and 2 as we round that final corner. The top 6 were all in that same picture momentarily. The Scarlet Ferrari looking to prance on by to try and get back into proper victory contention. They have to get past 1/1 of Sheehan before for the leaders. Mackie as well got past as Katie comes into pit lane, and heartbreak for the Scarlet Ferrari driver was running in the top 10. Yellow flags are behind because there has been a collision between the Cadillac and the Alpine of Tanidran and Adblock. Tanidran's into pit lane, Adblock is in the pit lane. They are side by side inside in the pit lane, so quite questionable proceedings here. But for the lead of the Grand Prix, the top 5 all in the same picture.
Yeah, lap number 16 of this race. Chowdenby's gained another place with the optional no nose box package. Interesting. But he's up to P7. Decent recovery from P10 in what has been a relatively quiet race weekend for our two-time TTYB champion. Rotax also gets through on Nolo, who's always going to be ailing on tyres that old. Jensen Hookie's progress going well, up to 13th place. Got a couple of cars between himself and the top 10, running well in that Williams car. They run like a hungry caterpillar under the Anderson Bridge for the 16th time in this race. Sheehan very, very close to Brian Evans. Was surprised he didn't go for it. If anything, I imagine he should have gone for it, because then he can think about just burning the battery and making his way on through. Perhaps it was all a premonition for this, though. A change for the race lead. It absolutely is. Xbox friends unite, but Sheehan's the one this time with a clear track ahead of him on lap 16.
It's now roles reversed, like Brian Evans will get that overtake mode, but Candy Floss already hot on the heels of the Cadillac as we go to turn 1. Will Candy Floss go brave for the brace? He thinks of on the inside, but the Cadillac will go around the outside to hold the momentum. But it's not, it's still game on at the front of the field. Brian Evans will get that extra power because of the overtake mode as we head through turn number 5 and we head down towards turn 7. Brian Evans only 3/10 away as we make our way towards turn 7. The top 2 fighting, the top 3 fighting for maiden victory, and the top 2 looking to go wheel to wheel towards turn 7. Brian Evans will tuck up behind, and Sheehan will now have the middle sector to try and blow away from the wonder from down under of Brian Evans. And Candy Floss as well, the Scarlet Ferrari, will want to try and get a move done to try and rival the Welsh Wonder for victory under the lights in Marina Bay.
Yeah, the Cadillac displaying the body feints right and left, looming large in the mirrors of the V-car. But the more they do that, the more they invite Infinity back into the fight. And if they make one too many mistakes, you can best believe the Ferrari's going to snap up the place. Another yellow flag through the first couple of corners. Might be Katie. I'm not entirely sure. She's just making her way out of the pit lane on a fresh set of tyres, if nothing else. Glory run for the fastest lap point. I respect it. Down Raffles Avenue. Raffles Boulevard in the first sector. Raffles Avenue in the third sector. However, who's Lady Luck on the side of Infinity? Thought about the dive. to the inside. The Ferrari driver growing ever more impatient. He knows the race win is not that far away. And with only 5 tours of Singapore left to go, time is ticking. Rotax has got ahead of Chowdenby as well. So the Red Bull driver, championship chaser, still not quite gelling with the Marina Bay street circuit.
Yeah, well, Chowdenby just... his pace has surprised me here, as there's been position changes for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Jensen from 17th is up into P11, and that is very respectful, especially in a street circuit. Oh no, what has happened as the Williams come together?
Well, it's Duty rejoining, and then there was contact with Nola, and now Jensen's in the wall. It was a concertina effect that could make you cry, to be honest. As through Sector 2 go the race leaders. Duty gets past Nola, rather aggrieved, and Mackey's out of this race. He's retired on the track. That could be subject to some stern wordings, but either way, in P9, Nola tried to go through, but he's got even wider than what Duty did with damage on the car. James in the Haas is going to get interested in this, and Hazza, who's been, well, relatively anonymous in our commentary callings, is now going to go through for P11 on the road, so good recovery from the Aston Martin as well, albeit with a penalty hanging over his head. Sheehan still leads. Brian in second. Infinity just has to throw caution to the wind. He's still got a full tank of battery on him. He's got to deploy as much of that as possible. I think drivers are being too cautious out there. In Singapore, you can save it easily. Just get on up the road. Just obliterate. And now he doesn't. It goes from bad to worse. A 3-second time penalty for Infinity. And that's going to put him out of the podium conversation as well.
Well, the top three, virtual safety car, what for? I'm not too sure. I don't know. It's a Racing Bulls. It's Noel. Noel's in the wall, in the chicane. He's facing the wrong way. In a very unusual place. Is the V-Kart man. Well, that's unfortunate for him, but it's quite helpful for Sheehan. He's now got a bit. He's probably going to be safe for the rest of this straight. Into the pit lane comes the Haas of James. Jensen gets a 3-second under virtual safety car, and now a 10 seconds under. And why?
Poor guy, honestly. I mean, I get it. His head wasn't in the right place. It just was not to be for Jensen Hookie today. Did everything right. Everything right. Had the pace, had the strategy. Game disconnection has thrown him into complete disarray. And the results show for it. But while it hasn't fallen his way, it definitely has fallen in the way of the RB driver. The fire from Faenza still rages on. Under the scorching Singapore heat, Sheehan leads with just a few tours of the track left to go. Fortis, brief yellow flag into Sector 1. I believe that's actually for the Williams that's just retiring on the track. So the Red Bull driver will do well to avoid it. I'm going to ride on board with Fortis because this could be quite hilarious depending on which way he goes. It almost happened,
ahead of Brian.
But it didn't. Infinity gets ahead of Brian. What on earth has happened to Brian Evans, who might have either been tapped at the hairpin by the Anderson Bridge or has completely overcooked the rear tyres? Infinity is going to escape into the distance. Deary, deary me. Brian Evans, the Australian sensation, it's all unravelled.
Yeah, I think he must have just been maybe caught out with the delta, maybe tried to predict it, and then would have had to slam on the anchors to make sure he didn't speed on that virtual safety car. Nonetheless, the top three are still as they were, but just Candy Floss and Brian have swapped around. Maybe now that Candy Floss has got better, more track position ahead of Brian now, maybe they could now be Sheehan and Candy Floss can now start to pull away from Brian and maybe start to work a 3-second gap to at least Yuri. The gap's 1 second between second and fourth in this Grand Prix. It's now going to be the question if Candy Floss and Sheehan can have the absurd pace to now gap. We've got 3 laps to go. Penultimate lap when we cross the line next time around. Noel's disconnected from the session. He's running down in P11, 24 seconds overhand on James in the Haas. Should realistically be fine unless the AI decides to absolutely just put the anchors on. But nonetheless, Candy Floss showing some absolute absurd pace. Already now within 0.6 of a second of the Welsh Wonder.
Indeed, just crossing underneath that margin for a brief moment, hopping over the curb. At the first instance, under the Anderson Bridge they go again for the 20th time in this restart race proceedings. Again, the rear slides out for the Ferrari. He's always struggled through that hairpin corner, and that just means Brian Evans can get back into range. P5 is signed, sealed, and delivered already for Infinity. He knows it could have been so much more. If Sheehan just keeps it clean, P1 is well and truly his. We have no idea how many warnings he's got in this race. It's going to be absolutely nail-biting stuff all the way to the finish as they will round the final 2 corners and onto the penultimate lap. Chowdenby's race going from bad to worse. He's behind Highwire as well. Again, still remains in P8. Rotax has managed to overthrow him. He's trying to put Infinity under all kinds of pressure at the end. Chowderby, again, going to lose immense ground to Yuri in the championship race.
Yeah, without that, pull up of this Grand Prix. And Yuri, the championship leader, showing why he's the championship leader, making up all those positions. I still want to wonder what's happened with Chowderby, because a man who we've expected to have the pace to fly through the field as Benjamin gives us in the chat. It's now 1-1 in the Spain-Belgium game. Thank you for that. I actually did need to know what that score was. But nonetheless, in terms of scores here, Sheehan seems to be 3-0 ahead of the rest. Right
Indeed,
now,
he is.
yellow flags are out.
Oh,
Tallyground dead.
Tanadran going very, very slowly. You can't exactly cause a safety car unless he's just ran out of fuel. Which might well be possible, unless, you know what, he just wants a charitable race with Katie. Let's find out. Through the Ferrari goes, he speeds up, and we're going to get some racing for 15th place. A wiggle from Katie. A sign of adoration and appreciation for our resident keyboard warrior. And they're going to duke it out all the way until the end. Sheehan through. Realistically, it looks like he's wrapped up this race, and a credit to him. He said he felt like he got a good chance. If everything fell into place, it could well be his race to win in Singapore. And, well, it's going to be not just 1, but 2 league race wins in the same week in my presence. The hex is well and truly broken.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. The final lap is about to begin, and it's going to be a wonder lap for the Welsh Wonder, where Brian Evans has got a 3-second time penalty, so Candy Floss is going to be on the podium!
This is absolute scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Just when you think you're down and out, Lady Luck just gives you one little last sprinkling of joy and jubilation. Infinity's going to stand on the podium regardless of what happens, as long as he keeps it on the right. Infinity, don't bop the wall again, my friend, honestly. Sheehan, though, leads 7/10 of a second is the gap. No real need to push either. Has held on to the track position. Has delivered what has been a cool and composed race in what has otherwise been a cauldron of heat. In the UK and in other parts of the world as well. To go racing, it is the worst possible conditions that you can have to deal with. To keep a cool head is made an even more exponential issue. But Sheehan has managed to do it. Dealt with the disconnect, dealt with the game crash in the first race. Never say never, there's still a sector to go for it to happen. I pray that it does not, because what a display it has been. Not only to get what could be a memorable race win, but also the fastest lap of the race. The podium might be not out of the conversation for Brian, but doesn't have the answer to Infinity after the mistake out of the hairpin. Just a chicane and the double left-hander to go. Rawbean's asking, how has Yuri got a P2 out of this? It's the George Russell effect. But through the final chicane and through the final double left-hander, shining under the Singaporean spotlight, Sheehan rounds the final corners and will do it in TTYB for the first time in the main race. It's the win for the RB. It's the sprint race and the main race. Bucket list has been checked off. Yuri takes P2 and Infinity claims a well-deserved podium after all the racing that has happened. Brian Evans resigned to P4 with Mach 1 in 5th place. The rest of the cars will cross the line. We had 2 stabs at the Singapore Grand Prix. Both times Sheehan proved to have phenomenal pace. And when it mattered most, boy did he make it count.
Yeah, about that, something I've just noticed as well, Chowderby spun final lap. Look at his front wing. Half of it's gone. So the championship chaser just made a mistake after hunting down Highwire in a position he was certainly going to get. He's only going to finish 8th. And that's going to be a massive blow in the World Championship. Max left the session, and that's going to be a pain in the backside. There's no one gets the fastest lap. There's something for him to smile about.
Something for you to smile at. Sheehan's going to be gutted because he hasn't got the extra point. It was literally less than 7/100ths of a second as well on softs. And that just, again, displays the kind of pace that Sheehan had in this race. But look at this. The real race, ladies and gentlemen. The one that you should all be gorilla glued to the screens for. Katie goes round the outside of Tanadran. Contact through the final corners. Oh, it's rude and it's rambunctious. But it's rapturous racing. Katie takes P14 at the end, purely because Mach 1's disconnected, so that's going to ruin our race order rundown. Wow. Singapore did not disappoint, and Sheehan is a race winner in Throttle to Your Bottle.
It's kind of like the effect when Hulkenberg got his podium, wasn't it? It was surely a matter of time, and finally, the curse has been lifted. It's also like Leclerc's Monaco win. The curse is lifted. Is this surely now the first of many for the Welsh wonder? Can he finally then go on to win more races? Driver of the day, rightfully so, Yuri Aarons. But through your running order, then I'll go through the top. I'll go through the top 8, and Carl can take you through the rest. Your race winner, Sheehan, finally gets it from 6th on the grid. Yuri from 15th gets 2nd. Candy Floss from 2nd gets 3rd. And Brian Evans stays in 4th. Then it'll be Rotax and then Highwire, Shelby and Hazard. That's your top 8. Carl, take us through the rest of the running order.
Thank you kindly. Don't forget Mac 1 in P5, purely because of the disconnect. He's not there, but in whatever case, you have 10th place as duty. James in 11th with Fortis 12th. Nola Tanidran, Katie round out our finishing order. And then Jensen Hookie, Adblocks, Mackie and Arthur Way failed to finish this second Singapore slingshot. And so there we are. What a race. And before we do our little debrief, we've got a couple of interviews to do, ladies and gentlemen. First of which, and get your sad faces on because we're going to have to bring him in. It's Jensen Hookie, ladies and gentlemen. Jensen's so desperately unlucky out there today. You said yourself that you're apparently a washed midfield driver, but there was nothing lucky about the pace you had today. You seem super strong around Singapore.
Yeah, I mean, I've done like 30 minutes of practice, so I had like no expectations going into it. But yeah, I mean, well done to Xi'an, brilliant race, mate. And to Infinity, rode really well. But yeah, going to lose it like that, but hey ho.
Does it give you at least a crumb of confidence? I know it's not the result you would have wanted today, but with the limited practice and on a track that can be so notorious for catching out drivers, we saw it at the highest level today. Does that give you confidence to bring it forward to next races that you do, in fact, have the pace to properly challenge out there?
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked to be honest. But it does give me a lot of confidence that no way I can be at the sharp end. I mean, on the restart, on lap 1, I got slight wing damage. So I was carrying that from lap 1 of the restarted race. But yeah, it was good. It's given me a lot of confidence going forward now. But we'll see what I can do next race.
Absolutely. Absolutely indeed. Rio, have you got any questions for Jensen?
No, I mean, all I can say is my commiserations because you probably deserved that race wing. I mean, the pace was unbelievable. Like, yeah, at least had a thing with like a 2-second gap in each one, at least 1 2-second gap. I've seen on the stream Carl was laughing at something I've said. So
Yeah.
Just have you got questions, but no. Fair enough. My job's
Yeah.
in the bin.
Oh, I actually was amazed at the gap, to be honest. What I found weird was I really seemed to come into my own on the used tyre because Infinity kept with me on when it was like first 3 laps of the restart, and now I just started gapping. I think just before I disconnected, I broke 1 and a bit seconds, I think. But yeah, I'm big gutted after that.
Of course, yes. And next week we head to a mystery track. No one knows where we're going, but we've had so far in the mysteries, we've had Australia and we've had Britain in reverse order. As we go into our third mystery track that Rio and I have chosen, what kind of track would you like to see for the next mystery race?
I'm gonna say Singapore again. But
we can't pick tracks that have been on the calendar.
no.
I kind of forgot. I forgot what we picked, to be honest.
I'm actually not sure, to be honest. I wouldn't mind a street track. I do love a street track. Really high downforce tracks. I can't drive a downforce car. I don't know why. But anything high downforce, I'd be really happy with. Monaco, I'd absolutely love Monaco.
Wasn't allowed to pick that because of Katie, I think.
No, on my days, all my tracks, man.
You never know. Or
No, do you remember what we
listen,
picked?
I do remember. And maybe we're
don't.
lying. Who knows? I can't say. It's all a mystery. Either way, we'll see it next. Jensen, again, obviously, commiserations. Massively gutting, but phenomenal pace out there this week. We'll see you next week. Go get another good result in you. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Brilliant. There we go. Jensen Hookie. It's a sad scenario, but at the end of the day, he made it happen. And ultimately would have made it happen had it not been for the disconnect. I'll tell you someone who did happen to make Infinity's live and showing the interview rating room something, but I'll tell you who I will bring in, unaware and out of the blue. He's done it! Twice in a week! Sheehan's a race winner again!
Yes! Yes!
Well done, man. That must feel pretty damn good, honestly. You said you had the pace and it's happened.
It feels exquisite, my friend. Yes, it does.
No, brilliant.
I have never genuinely it. I wouldn't have thought it. P6 in a 22 lap race. You know, like in Singapore where the battery is like infinite and you can barely overtake, unless you got a demand and pace advantage. Like, and then Hazard, I got him cleanly. Mackie won, almost spun it and died, and then Brian Infinity pitted early. I did get lucky with Jensen DC in, admittedly. You know, I feel for him. It's happened to me too many times, as we may know now.
Too many is an understatement.
True. So, like, I am also apparently getting reported, but we ignore that. I crossed the line on the pit entry, but I locked up on my cold hards and then cranked it back left. So
We
lost
didn't
I
get it on
gain
broadcast. Don't worry about that.
Fine, cool.
10,000 second per time penalty.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I was speaking to Infinity and Katie in the rating room. Apparently, they said it would be fine if I did indeed like make an effort to come back before it went off. You know.
Guess what?
What?
They're lying.
Duh, who's could have seen that coming? Anyway, but no, I am stoked. I am kind of upset that Yuri got P2 because of pens behind me, and my own teammate took my fastest lap by 4,000 of a second, which means I only gained 5 on Yuri after all that. But a dub is a dub is a dub is a dub is a dub. You know, like, it's... You take it, you run with it, I am happy. Like, it has happened. I can't say that I lost the words. Like, after finally winning in front of Carl and Blackout, the curse was broken. Apparently, all it took was a lobby restart, and we're all good.
Exactly.
I was praying my game just didn't crash because I just kind of had a feeling something was going to happen. Like, it was too good to be true. So I was like, game, please hold on. And then when I released out the final corner, exhilarating.
Yeah.
Like, it was like when Vettel won in Singapore 2019. Like,
no, exactly. But
Back to normal next week.
No, you're quite right. Speaking of next week, ladies and gentlemen,
what track
mystery
is it?
race. Rio and I have picked the third mystery track. Even we don't know what it is. But what kind of track would you like to see for the third mystery track?
Will my answer here influence what track it is?
We've already picked it.
We've already picked it.
Oh, okay.
So we know,
I'm kind of feeling something like Austria or Spa, like a traditional racetrack, you know. Like, I'm a fan of Austria. Last season, Austria was great. That move I did on Infinity and the 100% was magnificent too. We can do it again with the new battery. I like Spa because, you know, it's dependent on battery, obviously, and like tracks that would catch you out normally. Like Silverstone was bad on battery. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to show my pace at Silverstone other than qualifying. But yeah, I like in those kind of tracks as long as it's not an American track, not Miami, not Vegas. For the love of God, I think Vegas is already on the calendar actually. So just don't do Miami. Leave Miami out of this.
Okay.
No promises.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's good. That's good information to know. Rio, do you have any final questions for Mr. Sheehan?
What was your live reaction when you saw Jensen disconnect?
So what happened was I couldn't see him exactly because I was trying to get back past the two medium runners and chasing down Brian. All I heard was Infinity say, "Oh my God, Jensen disconnected." I'm like, piss off, he has not. No, you're playing a joke. And then I seen the message saying Jensen has left the session. I was admittedly, I felt sorry for him, but I was quite happy as well because it means that I win the chance to win, you know. But like it's a mix of things. But then he rejoined the VC after he undeafened, and was like, how I disconnected. I was like, yeah, you have. I feel for you. And then he was saying about how this race he had worse luck than me. Might be true. He disconnected in the race that actually mattered. I didn't. You know, so that's something. So I feel for him. You know, after weeks of hurt happening to me. You know. So, but he knows. I know. I know now, especially that it's gonna get better. Like 4 weeks, you know, of my luck so far, and then finally, the one race where nothing bad happens to me after the restart, I win. You know, like it'll happen for him.
championship
But
charge.
this, I think, I'm going to say it. This is the start of the champion. We'll see how next week goes. But this is the start of the championship charge. Next week, we'll see if it's going to continue. I've only gained 5 points on Yuri, as we said. I think I'm also now P2 in the championship. Am I? I'm not too sure, actually. I'm near enough there. But this is the start of the championship charge. I will be there.
We will be there.
We will be there. Like in Blackout, we will be there for that charge. 2 different leagues I'm charging in.
Absolutely.
I just like making it hard for myself, apparently.
It's not the way to
I'm
do it.
ready. I am so ready. You know, I feel like my luck's going to turn around. I hope this is a turnaround for luck. Like, you need the one good result, and then it all comes flooding in. I hope this is it.
I'm sure it will be. This is the start of
I
many
bet-
great things to come. But twice in
I
a
pray.
week, you've done it. Twice in a week, Sheehan. Honestly, it's like
Yeah,
the floodgates
unbelievable. And you
I know.
commentated both.
It's finally happened.
The Carl curse is broken.
No more Mr. P2 in this business. He
I
only knows how
joined
to
your
win.
league. I joined your server on Discord, by the way.
I
Join
know.
Carl's Discord server. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway,
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
I join it, and then the first race I do when I joined it, if you broadcast and I won, even with a disconnect in a 3-second at Qatar, of all places. And then here we are on Throttle to Your Bottle. It happened again. And I even said in your chat on Monday, Throttle to Your Bottle's next.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. Damn
And
right.
it was correctamundo.
Listen, fairy tales write themselves here in League Racing, and it's happened again, ladies and gentlemen. Sheehan, you are not just a race winner in Blackout, you're a race winner in TTYB, but more so than that, you're going to be thrust into the championship conversation if you keep it up. So, congratulations,
I'm going to keep it up.
Enjoy
my
it.
speed will,
Enjoy
my luck
it.
might. We don't know.
Goddamn right.
I will enjoy this. I'm going to go do a shoey. I'm not. I'm not that far yet down the line of insanity. But hey, see you next week, guys. Hopefully it's another interview and a race win.
Yes.
And I beg you, choose a good track. Please.
You'll find out. We'll let you know. Enjoy it, man.
I'm
Take
sure
care.
I will.
We'll see you next week.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye. Whew. Well, there you go. New race winner. Finally.
Shabby, eh?
We knew it, I know, literally. We thought there'd be a new name at the top, and finally there is one. It wasn't Infinity. It wasn't Brian Evans. Yuri did nothing and could have won the race even, but Sheehan did manage to do it. And because he's not doing a Yuri, I'd like to say, if you're feeling misled, National Accident Helpline will be able to help you claim compensation. And without that being said, finally, the big question is driver of the day. Rio Harris. Who is your driver of the day?
Yuri. I don't think there's a question about that. I mean, he got murdered on the first race, recovered in the second race, went from, in a sense, 15th to second. So, yeah, I would say Yuri is driver of the day, showing why he's the championship leader without a shadow of a doubt. What would you say?
Couldn't agree more, honestly. Yuri's top of my conversation as well. Driver of the day, I think no question about that. Went brave on the strategy as well. Softs to, I think it was hard. Yeah, it was hard tyres that he pit on the safety car, which is clever thinking from Yuri. Well done. It wasn't on the safety cars before that, but even so, softs to hards, bold strategy, brazen, and it paid off beautifully. Extends its championship lead. Happy days for him. I will give also a commiserative driver of the day shout out to Jensen Hookie, who definitely deserved to win the race, but it just was not to be today. Well, that ends all of the show-stopping shenanigans in Singapore in TTYB this week. And all that remains, of course, is to say a massive thank you to all of you for tuning in. Big thank you to Alexis Mason as well, who raided in. Hope you're doing well and hope you had a good stream. But nonetheless, if you do want to keep up with all things TTYB, first of all, follow this channel. What are you doing? Very sad at you if you're not following. But also, we have things like Discord and YouTube, TTYB_racing on many a platform. Follow us there, subscribe, etc. You don't want to miss it. Rio, it's been an absolute pleasure sharing the commentary box with you, my friend, as it always is. Where can the lovely people find you on an interweb?
They can't find me on an Xbox anymore. That's for sure. They can find me on a PC and on, I think, yeah, I got every social, Rio Harris F1, no spaces, capital I, capital H, capital F, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, just Rio Harris F1 and everything, and you can see a very mid-sim racer. What about you? Where can they find the Mr. Carl Peronic?
Well, I'll tell you where they can't find me, and that's wrapping up Rhinoceri on Raffles Boulevard. You won't find me there. But where you will find me is at my name, Carl Poranic. If you type that in on pretty much every social media as one word, you'll probably find me there. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it comes down to this. Time to cue the music and bring it to a close. Where are we going next week? Honestly, no idea. You're going to have to wait and find out for yourselves. Massive shout outs to TTYB for allowing us to commentate in all of the glory, among many, many other bits and pieces besides. What a race Singapore was, ladies and gentlemen. The championship leader extends the margin. Even after a relatively anonymous start to proceedings, they still found a way. And as always in motor racing, the cream of the crop rises to the top. The big news of this week, though, Sheehan's Singapore Seance ends so splendidly. He's finally a race winner for good in TTYB. And who knows where the championship will go from there. Until next time, though, massive thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your night. And until next time, it's goodbye.
Turn 3, drafting down the straight like we're born to be. F1 pace with an LMP soul. Pit stop dreams, flat out goals. Overtake clean or defend like hell. DRS wide and the gap won't dwell. Discord's lit, but the track comes first. Champions are built where the tires burst. Throttle till you bottle, feel the G's rise. Tearing through the sim world under pixel skies. No reset button, just grit and gears. Through the heat and the heartbreak, the wins and the tears. Till you bottle, it's the racer's creed. Full send in the sim, full heart at speed. From rookies to vets, we ride the storm. In lobbies where legends are born. Camaraderie and chaos, rivals and mates, one shared love. Those checkered flag fades. Throttle till you bottle, ain't no turning back. Burn the line till the screen fades black. In this digital circus,